it's working. Hello, Ben. Nice to see you again, mate. How am I? Not too bad, really. I haven't done really much today, really. Just been exchanging emails with one of my employees, actually. So that's about it, really. So I've been busy doing that. You're about 3 minutes late before us on the stream. Yes, that's true. I had a bit of issue with the connection thing. You couldn't get live for some strange reason. Go already and everything else. And it just kept like saying not live, not live. I've done it multiple times, and finally, it's finally got working now. It needs a little bit more oomph to it, I would say. But that's why I'm a little bit late, really, for that one. Because I got here about before half past the dot. Got everything ready. I think so. To record, nothing really happened really. Just kept one broadcast live, but it's broadcasting now at the moment, which is pretty good. It's not too bad. So yeah, it just tends to happen sometimes. It's just like just one thing with this sort of thing, really. But it's what can you do? How about yourself? Anything happened recently with you? Anything at all? I was going to Montrose. I'm going to Montrose on Friday, so I'll be getting my vinyl there. Oh, pretty good. So you go back to Montrose again. That's nice. What did I do? Probably not doing much really because I've busy. I've got a very busy week in the Hermit actually. Partying. I think I'm only doing 2 days partying. At least no third day, which is thank Christ. That's a good thing because I'm not available on Friday and Saturday. So that's Friday and Sunday. That's the thing. You're doing grand. You're doing fine. That's wonderful. I've just finished. Apart from doing that, actually, I've been filming a video as well. I've been filming a new series. Actually, it's a 13-part series. What if that I'm doing? I've just done episode 5. Actually, I just filmed episode 5. I realised I haven't filmed something in a month. Funny enough, I've done the instrumental stuff, but I haven't really filmed anything like live or anything else here in the car, or whatever. Anything else for a month. I just didn't have the drive for it really. I just didn't have the energy to actually do it. I was more occupied with the job business side of thing, actually trying to find a job at this point, actually, trying to find employment. So I've been just working, just like trying to sort that out really, rather than make videos really. Let's have a look if I can see. That's not it. What's happened here? Oh, I see. Okay. I see. Okay. I'll do that then, and I'll. Who's this guy? Guy costume must be on stream. Fuck off, mate. Nah, you never see me do that. You big. How can I get rid of you, Stu? You're a fucking nuisance, you are. There we go. That's better. Don't know where he come from, but there we go. What are you saying, Ben? Yesterday I got, what's this? Let me get out. You got DJ Just Jeff and Fresh Prince poster. That's nice. And it came for an issue of Looking magazine. That's actually pretty good, actually. That's interesting. Pretty good. What's this? Why did you block that guy? Have you seen what he put on? He's asked me, do I masturbate on? Can you masturbate on live stream, or do you beat your girlfriend up? That's all that sort of slocky stuff. That's never happened before. So, that's what you always get people like that. Really. I never do, but nevertheless, criticism. But he's just someone to fuck around, really. Just someone who pisses people off on live stream. He's just again, he's a troll, that type of thing. So he is. Oh, I don't deal with that sort of stuff on here anyway. So yeah, I think that's the first time actually. Done this now for 14 streams already, and it's the first time this ever happened. So you probably get some other people going on trying to say that you're gay, whatever, you want to be castrated, hang yourself, or get raped or anything like that. So that's to come at some point. People probably get on live streams all the time. You always get someone come across anyway. Well, yeah. Well, you like the guy? Yes, I did. Yeah, well about the guy. Yes, I already have. Oh, let's see. I don't know if there's any more one will come. Actually, I didn't realize actually because of how the chats on here. It's very much on the side. Really, it's not like going down fully. No, it's not. No. That's fine. Yeah, I reported that. Oh, did you? Oh, no, it'd be fine. Don't worry. He's on the block list of this thing anyway, so he won't access this stuff anyway. So because I only use this sort of stuff, they'll catch on to it, so it'll be fine. So he'll be on this block list. He won't get on it anymore. That's all right. How does that work? I'm just trying to figure out like a way. I think that's just how it is really. So I can basically go down. Yeah. That's fine. It's just one of those things really. What I was meant to say was, because I've been looking for a job. I've just been doing not a lot of filming really until just today really. So I've just done the fifth episode of What If. It's basically TV series type shows really. Like what if that show had another season or a season in between one episode or one episodes? How would it be like this whole thing? Would some of the same people be on board or the same? Would it be different? That's that type of thing. You won't see until about September this actually. So next month, roughly by next month, you'll get it really. So I've done the first 5. I just need to do episode 6 to 13 at that point. I need to think about what else I need to cover on that show, actually. I've got a few good ideas, actually, but we'll have to wait and see. Indeed. I'll give you a little bit of some hints, actually. So that's one thing. Let's have a look. So I can't really see from really much on here as well. Because they've all differently. By the way, I got the DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince poster that came from one of my favorite music. Yeah, that's one of my favorite music artists. And I've been thinking of getting some music posters, just like the one of the Beatles, etc. That's pretty good, actually. It depends where you go find some decent posters. The thing is, I used to hang them up on the wall like everyone did back in the 70s, 80s, etc. Just be the type of people again. Really, you never see people like that do much at all, really. But they'd be nice, actually. I do own a few posters, actually. I've got a Boney M poster from a compilation from, what's it called? I don't know what it's called. Midnight Something. It's like a disco album I got years ago. Good condition as well, so I've got a Boney M poster somewhere. I've got a Who poster. I got something to do with Who from Who Sell Out when they reissued that. I've got a poster in there. I'm trying to think what else I've got. I keep thinking about Elastic poster. I don't actually. Got a booklet and place to discuss them somewhere. Just don't to spring to mind really. I don't think I've got any of the posters. Just some to Boney M and the Who. I think. No Beatles or anything. No David Bowie or anything. Or Queen. I think. No, I don't. There we go. Right. I think that'll do really. I'll just change the chat bit on here. Side is this? I have to scroll down now. Usually it's just like it's like more expansive all the way down really, but it's just like it's like condensed onto this like that bit really. It's a bit strange. Just getting used to it. So yeah. see what else comes up anyway. So we're getting posters like Beatles, as I mentioned before. And other favourite singers like the Smiths, the Housemartins, and ABBA. That's not too bad actually. I think there'll be plenty of stuff like that really around anyway. Smiths, House, like how are you going? Is there like new posters you're going to get, or are you going to try and find some second-hand stuff like you find in again like vinyl inlays, whatnot, and it's sleeves buried in sleeves and whatnot. Something like that. Yeah. I do have favourite singers, but I forgot to think of any to mention there, so I mentioned those bands. That's fine. I'm just trying to think of any good ones. I don't buy posters really. That is there really. I don't put them on actually. It's either stuff that's framed sometimes, or not really. Just just one of those things. I keep my room bare very much. Just one of those things. It is a thing really. One of those things really. I probably did years ago when I was a kid, but it's all stuck now. Just like a bit too much, really. You sort of think of it. It's like you look at a poster many years ago. You think, yeah, why do I listen to that? Why do I watch that? Why is that there? Why have I got that? What do you call it? Lampshade. Why have I got the curtains? Why have I got this lamp here? Why do I have that? It's like you sort of move on from that, really. Just one of those things, really. Yeah, they might be second-hand. The DJ Jesse F from Fresh Prince poster I've got is second-hand. It's from a magazine back in the day when they were around. Okay, that's pretty good. That's handy, anyway. So I'm getting game messages, of course. Again, second-hand stuff like the Boney M poster. That's what I've always I've kept really. But I think the Who poster that came for a reissue, so that's what was there. I always get them in the inlays. I don't bother taking them out or anything else. There could be worth something, maybe a cup of maybe 50p or something like that. I don't know. I have to wait and see on that front. Indeed, sorry, call on message. That's all from chat. On a different chat. Yeah. Nothing too much going on. Very much so. What else we got here? Yeah, they stopped performing as a full-time act around 1993 when they released their fifth album, Code Red. So after Boney M. Is it? Or is it? Let me have a look. Christ, it's been going on for that long. You always thought I just died off like in the 80s or something, really. Let me have a look. Oh, wait, hold on. No, I'm thinking of something else, aren't I? No, I think it's something else. So, I see it's be DJ Jazzy Jeff, yeah. I don't really listen to that sort of stuff, really. I don't know why. It's just like never. It's stuff like 90s hip hop. Sometimes it doesn't do much for me, very much. Yeah, they often reunite on occasions. They do like performing. Often perform occasionally like performing concerts in Blackpool and a concert in Budapest for Will Smith's birthday. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, I don't really, listen to this side stuff. I mean, it's like again, American hip hop type duo. It's not something. I mean, 80s stuff I sort of get behind, of course, like Run DMC, Beastie Boys type, and Grandmaster Flash. I can get behind totally, But something like Tupac, I can't get into. I really cannot. Oh, and anything like that really. I don't know. It's never been really appealing. So I mean, it's like country. Well, I think I probably owned some bit of country many years ago, but I just don't know. It's not one of. It's not something I really tend to listen to. Really, I prefer more of a band DIY approach. I do anyway. Do different like more like House Martin Smith's type thing. Really, Beatles, ABBA. I can probably get behind, of course. That's good implementation really from them, and songwriters like a good dynamic duo with Bjorn and Benny. I can get behind that. Fresh Prince and I don't know because I never watched Fresh Prince. Never really have really, so I can't really get behind that. Shockingly, yeah, I'm not really familiar with Fresh Prince. I've seen little bits of it. I know that another featuring briefly, but it's never been something it's flown my head really because it's something obviously here. No, I've only been watching British stuff really in a way, never really sort of adapted to the American stuff really. Mr. Dividend Film Blog, hello, didn't realise you were alive. Yeah, half day in the Wednesdays really, but it's all right. Nothing. Well, something's happened. We had a guy called Stu come over and asked me if I could masturbate on Livestream, and also do I have a girlfriend and do I beat her up black and blue? Well, I'll beat the shit out of her. I don't actually. So he's gone. He's gone anyway. So I had to block him off the list anyway. So you missed a little bit there, but nothing much. Just been talking about music really. Something. Yeah. There's nothing much has happened really. I've just been chatting. I've just actually filmed a video recently. Actually, I haven't filmed a video in a month actually, and because I've been doing the Instagram stuff, I've been busy looking for a job really. So I've been sort of flogging about and sorting application forms I want. So I've been really busy actually for the past month really, do work and everything else, and just looking for work, just for new employment actually. You start your Alpha Scott Marathon. You started with rope not too long ago. Good on you, sir. See how it goes. I mean, it's gonna be a while, but yeah, definitely, it's gonna be something. Probably the only one I can probably think is the birds and cycle. Maybe the birds are probably saying that's about it really. But best. I hope that goes all right for you. Hope it goes goes well. What do I do? I haven't watched films either really, because I've been busy doing also. I've been busy focused on everything else. That's the thing. It's just been focused on my life. I've been focused on other stuff. I've been working out a bit as well, doing mountain courts whatnot on Tuesdays, every Tuesday actually. So yeah, that's still going on. For the Masterpiece collection, I created paper sleeves in order to pull the discs out to prevent them from getting. Yeah, look. Masterpiece collection, I created paper sleeves in order to pull the disc out to prevent it from getting even more scratched. Good thing actually. That's probably the best idea actually. Keep it safe. Not too bad actually. Yeah. Also, I've been just checking. Yeah. I think from time to time I've been checking out your idents whether you've been sent to the email. It's very decent stuff actually. Very brilliantly done. The ones actually. I'm just trying to think. Still got the email stuff here as well. I do like the HTV one. That's HTV, pretty good stuff. I really enjoy that one. The Angler one, really good stuff. You said you use Blender for that one, and took a bit of time. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's pretty good one. Very, very good commitment and achievement on that one. And sorry, this emails out. Okay, I keep seriously. What trip for to you thought book packaging was a good idea? Beats me, mate. I have literally no idea. It could be it's cost-effective stuff, really, probably. Maybe. I used the Tiny Teas one in my latest video. Oh, that's good. At least they're being good used anyway. I mean, pretty good stuff, actually. I was saying about the Angler one's been pretty good. I mean, the Tiny Teas one's actually pretty good. I'm trying to think maybe if in terms of what else is on here. No. No, I don't know. I mean, that's not too bad, actually. Good music booted to it. That's your Southern one, I think. I just played, really. HTV Angle has been good. TVC's alright, actually. And Grampian. I've always said Grampian's the least favourite out of the bunch, really, but it's good. I did re-render it because I think I overdid the film to it. It's not too bad, actually. I think I actually don't mind, actually. I had a good look at them anyway. Actually, not pretty nice, actually. Pretty nicely done there. I don't think you sort of overdid in the film does. Maybe in your opinion, maybe for me, it's totally fine, actually, in terms of everything else. Indeed. Just gonna put a light on. Really. I just need to see pretty much. And so it's going dark, really. That's better. The Silver one was easiest to want to make. Can imagine, yeah. I mean, you said the Angular one you said was hardest because it was to made a blender, trying to replicate night and whatnot, everything else in 3D. You know, try and use that sort of software, which is admirable. The Grampian one was pretty easy because it was like in case of changing the text, really. Okay, so you basically just use the actual footage itself and put your brand, your channel name on it. Okay, that's indeed. I mean, for me, the only thing I've ever done, like in terms of ident type stuff, is what I've been using. There you go. Just getting something off this for a bit. I mean, I think the ones I sort of use really is like this stuff anyway. So like backwards film very much. I use Serpio do, and obviously there we go. That's my title very much. Sometimes I think since for a while I didn't use music, but I did use music to say yeah, indeed, which I think I've used, which I've still got. So that was used actually. Yeah, it's day back. Yes, 13th of May, 2020. So that was sort of used. That was actually that little bit was used in the last few videos of Kiss Confessions actually to make a little somber note really. And so there we go. So I still on that really. Well, I think what I did was I used the same footage. I just put different music on it. Of course, that's what I've been doing for that really. But since then, I've just been keeping it silent. It's always been a silent variant really of mine. I don't really very much. No music at all. Sometimes actually when I would go this sometimes, but it's always been quiet. It does. I'm really trying to think what else I've also done. There's my movie reviews title sequence, of course, I've used. Again, follows a similar thing as well. Doing that sort of thing. I started doing different variants. I actually made the Anglian one way back in 2019 because I planned to do some new ident, but I couldn't be asked and had more limitations. Okay. So obviously this is what I use use film print very much and you do like a similar thing, really. But you do get the obvious thing with this rock music to make it. I actually think it fits perfectly. This does indeed. It works in a way more punchy. It does. Straight from my movie as well, actually. And the timing's perfect on this thing, and it works. Yeah. And one of those movie review task sequences had the Pearl ending. They did actually, yes, and the sequence from 2001: Space Odyssey as well. I used that for one time. I think it's series 7. I used that. Did I? Let me have a look. Again, looking for my old stuff. I still need to do movie reviews. Actually, I haven't done it for a while. Probably for a few months, maybe. But I still need to get back into it. I don't know if I used it for series A or not. I'm not too sure. I did actually, yes. I used it. I think did I use it for the other ones? think after Series 9, I sort of abandoned it. No, I didn't. I used the another ident I use, which involves stuff from with Nil and I, the music on that one. I think it's Series 8. Actually. Yeah, Series 8 was the last one I actually used that tile sequence with there we go. That sort of thing. Yeah, with some of the ones that were frame by frame animated, I used MS Paint to add the dirt, but I didn't want to overdo it. Ironically, the prints are far more clear than the actual ones, actually. So I think the ones you've sent me, actually, I saw the clean versions, probably. Who knows? So let's have a look here. So this is from Series 8. This is so obviously starts off with the logo really. That actually I think the story how I made that logo. It came from a skate logo app I used quite a number of times actually, and I used it and I thought I might as well use actually. So it's a bit of background, like a surface background on the back of it, and some star really and name. I think how I did it was I used uses blank and whatnot, and covered it with some I don't know, font of course, using Pages I think or something like that, or a type of I don't know, pic collage app or something, I don't know, many years ago. So that's how I created this ident really. And obviously so that was actually used for, that's actually Council of Geeks music that is, I think from the early videos he did actually. Rather than do the full tile sequence in FPL size, well, he should have now and again really. That'd be something. Going back to Hitchcock, I saw Savage on Monday, and yesterday I watched Shadow of Doubt. That's pretty good. Again, films I haven't seen actually, so I don't really can't comment on really. So obviously, yeah, obviously, I think speaking of like marathons, of course, like we talked about Kubrick just last week we did. So also I used this one I did, Perladine film mixed with the 2001 Space Odyssey time lapse I did. Hello. Simple, effective, really, at the time. Shadow of Doubt is a great film. Maybe I should check it out. I don't know, really. Try and find some DVDs or go on streaming service or whatever, you know. I was talking to my mum actually just yesterday, actually, and I think, you know, I was asking, you can just use, you know, tomorrow I think Source Plan, I'll watch Strangers on a Train. Okay. The thing is, let me just get rid of that. Nope. Excuse me. The thing is, I think watching films, of course, I tend to use Netflix. I do really to watch films, really. But I've also got Amazon Prime. But I don't really. Well, my parents use Amazon Prime for some certain reasons, but I prefer to use Netflix quite, you know, a lot more. I mean, you have like random stuff and new exclusive stuff. Yes, of course, but it's also free as well. You can binge on all stuff, really. Of course, Amazon Prime, you have to pay for stuff like, you know. There might be some stuff that might be exclusive, of course, but you think like, oh, that'd be a good film to actually watch. And you realise you have to pay $4.99 to rent. Actually, to buy as well, you can have to pay for $8.99 for it, which is ridiculous. That is, you know, mind you, it's Amazon for you. Indeed, excuse me. Sorry. So I just go also sorry, really around here, of course, it so affects my speech a little bit. It is a little bit. You know, it's catching like where's around? It's right here, like catching the top of my teeth really around here. So when speaking, just, well, it doesn't really dig in or scrape very much, but it's just there really, just around there. You know, I'll see how it goes anyway later on. Oh, it does help with the pain. It does a little bit. There we go. Also, found this actually today, so I might be drinking this actually. You know, Feldskålbecken, Feldskålbecken lager, German beer. So obviously German. Not too bad. It's not too bad actually. I'm sort of enjoying it. I got it from Amazon today really. been making toasters as well, which is interesting actually. Been messing around with a toaster. That's not too bad. And yeah, a lot darker, I've noticed. I think getting close to the end of summer, aren't we? So getting close to autumn. So that'd be something, really. Indeed. What else to discuss anyway? There's quite maybe a few things to discuss. I've been seeing a lot of Twitter posts to do with the Web of Fear animation of episode 3. Fucking hell, that is dreadful. That is that's an eyesore. That's absolute eyesore. Christ Almighty. You know, watching like a mini clip of that. Jesus Christ. I've never seen anything like that before. Christ. I mean, I'm not going to show anything, but I could probably show you a little picture, really, see if that'll probably do anything. But bloody hell, that's at 3, you know. Good thing I'm not getting that, really. You know, I didn't see the point of re-releasing the Web of Fear anyway. Oh my God. Yeah, I will introduce my 2 idents and the alternate between the new and old for a few videos until I get 50. I'll get 15 uses each is out the old set, and then I'll keep the new ones for like 2 years or so. Okay, that's not too bad. Indeed. So I'll show you some clip. To be honest, I don't know what they should have done, like typical animation. Well, maybe you'd left it. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, the web face I find is ghastly. Let's find a good picture of it. But Jesus Christ. Is that good enough? That's like a mixture of 3D, isn't it? Christ. You know, I don't know why they animated it. Of course, I'm happy with the 2013 release. Of course, there's only just episode 3. That's just as reconstructions. But I would actually love to see other ones. Like probably half stuff like what they did with. Let me think of some ones that do that sort of thing. Yeah, I only got the special edition of Over Fear for the extras because the previous version didn't have any. So yeah, that's true. You're only there for the special features, the interviews, whatnot with Fraser Hines, whatnot, and FEL's production stuff. I think that's the main thing really. But I don't know. I didn't really see the point of like re-releasing other stuff really. So like Over Fear, I can't really understand why that doesn't click with me really as much. Same with Power of the Daleks. About a couple of years ago, the special edition version of that didn't see the point, unless it's improved animation, of course. The thing I would have liked really to see, a type of thing like, rather than recreate, animate one episode, they should have done stuff like the Underwater Menace or the Crusade, very much, or maybe something like Celestial Toymaker or something like that. Because back in the days, before the animation, of course, you had stuff like, the Invasion, Reign of Terror, 10th Planet, and what's the other ones I can think of? I do the same. You'll never buy the special edition of Power Darkness. No, I never will. You see in shops in HMV, you think, I'm not going to fucking buy that. I'm happy with the 2016 version. Yes, the animation's a bit janky here and there, but it's like a first try, really. Obviously, they had to make a deadline, didn't they? So they had to hurry this, of course. BBC Worldwide wants them to carry on with it, of course, or just like meet this deadline, get it done by then. So never been a rush really. But I can understand why, really. But I'm just trying to think actually in terms of other releases. I mean, The Invasion was the first one really, and obviously there were some other ones. Well, there were some other ones as well. Actually, I noticed. Is that the Doctor Who animations by Cosca-Fall that you were talking about there? Just now, actually, with the Invasion. I think Cosca-Fall only did 2. They only did 2 adventures so much. Like they did. Well, first they did Scream and Shalka, a BBC iCast version of that, like a exclusive to the BBC store website with Richard E. Grant and Sophie Ikenodo and Craig Cash as well in there as well. So a decent voice cast in there. They did that first. They did, and I think in 2006 they did. They reanimated 2 lost episodes or 2 missing episodes of Doctor Who from the Patreon era, the Invasion. So they did I think they did episodes 1 and 4. They did. So they did that first. They did. Cosmic Fall only did the Invasion. They did, but they were actually meant to do some more as well. Actually, Power of the Daleks was meant to be the next one, because there's an interview with James Goss with a guy called Adam Mountain who does the ident stuff, of course, and he discusses. Obviously, Madam mentioned the Invasion, of course. And James Goss actually gives some a little bit of insights. Well, like he had plans for other stuff as well. Obviously, we did Invasion first. Then to release it on DVD, it did well. And the next thing was like, why was do like one completely fully animated, of course, and Power of the Darks was actually the next one to do. But there was something to entertain, something like that. The boss is up on there, and they were sort of and ahhing. Something happened, and that never actually came to be. And Cosmic Fall went off, of course, and you never actually got another one until probably Reign of Terror, actually, with what was it, the Moon Base, or it's one of them 3 actually, 10 Planet Moon Base or Reign of Terror, who did the other one. So like Planet 14 or something, or Planet 15, different production companies as well. But Cosmic Fall, they were sort of let go, they were at that point. Yeah. So I just found it, Oh yes, I've seen that man's video on his page. Yeah, because he does the AMTV radio stuff he did. But watch that one too, James Goss, really good. I mean, that's some interesting stuff. That is indeed. The Invasion came out in 2006, and Reign of Terror came out in 2013. Yeah, there's a bit of a long gap there was between trying to do animations, like for missing episodes, really. But Power of the Daleks would have been the next one after the Invasion, but it never came to be because To Entertain were being pushy, they were being stubborn, really, and they didn't last long either. Didn't last about a couple of years after this, and they lasted about a couple of years, and they vanished to the ether, didn't they? 2008, something like that, I think. Yeah, I think they might as well get the complete stories out first before tackling the missing ones. I think that's what they're going to do. Actually, yeah, they'll do everything else, maybe from season 7 to 26. And then do the missing ones afterwards. But I think that seems the logical choice. That seems to be the right move, really. I'm not too sure what they're going to do with Paul McGann, though. That's the thing. Like, are they going to do the TV movie, but are they going to put some other stuff in there as well? Is it going to be like a Wilderness Years box set? Are we going to screen a Schalke on Blu-ray along with The Curse of Failed Death, along with comedy sketches? Are we actually getting animations of the Big Finish stories that he's done? Stuff like, from Storm Warning, Sword of Orion, Stones of Venice, and Minions in Hell, with attached on with the TV movie inside. And then you get the next one, of course, like, In Venice from Mars to Segreus in that second box set. We don't know. Because 2006 was fairly early in the line. It was actually, yeah. Yeah. I've seen his brief history videos on stuff like Brum, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and the history of BBC One. Absolutely, yeah. I first came across his channel for that brief history of Brum as well, actually. So pretty good video, really good video. Still has that, actually. Although I think recently he mentioned that due to copyright stuff, that's been plaguing his channel, but he's, that very much, type thing. 2013 was the last year Complete Stories came out. That was true. Was it Terror of the Zygons was the last one to come out? Or was it the... I'm trying to think, actually. Again, I need to look up the BBC Doctor Who DVD list or whatnot of classic stuff that came out. BBC releases, of course. I'm just going to, again, just check it out. I'm looking forward to Eve of the Darks, though. That's one thing that's coming out on the 27th of September, so I'll be definitely getting that. That'll be amazing. Indeed. So, looking forward to that. Yeah, Terror of the Zygons was the last one. Oh, okay. So where was this? 2013. Was this? Look at. I found something. There we go. Yeah. So 2013. Yeah. Actually, the complete one, of course, indeed. So 2013. So the schedule on this one. So on February 25th, we've got the special edition of Ark in Space, which is again good story. The only reason I've only got that version because there's a special feature on there from that's not included on the box set of season 12 or anything else, or maybe on the other ones. That's Doctor Forever. That's to do with the Virgin BBC novels. That is. That's the only reason I bought it for, actually. Otherwise I can get the first edition of the first edition of Ark in Space. But I've got that version. Oddly given a fan favorite. The original tape survived, and it was one of the first ones to come out on VHS. Yeah, it seems strange actually. You thought about to bring out much more earlier, like in that original run. You know, stuff like Remembrance of the Daleks or Three Doctors, Carnival of Monsters, Seeds of Death, or the Aztecs. Pretty much that could be like in that original run. You know, Robots of Death. You know, that type of thing. You know, until it, you know, unless I don't know really. Unless it's sort of held it off for a bit, of course, like, you know, they're focusing on other stuff, really, what was coming out. Because a lot of stuff on, you know, special editions type thing, box sets or anything else, you know, it could be like to do with other releases that have been pushed back and whatnot. Like, so that might have been pushed back for years. It's like, no, we got these coming out, you know, you have to put a different schedule or something. Maybe. They could have done that, you know, unless they saved it for like a grand finale, you know, we save one of the best ones for last. Maybe. We'll see. So, Ark Space Special Edition came out on the 25th of February. On the 11th of March, we had the Special Edition of the Aztecs with the Galaxy 4 reconstruction attached to it. Then on 6th of May, the Visitation Special Edition. 27th of May, Infernal Special Edition. Then on June the 3rd, we had the Mind of Evil. Well, I think the last poetry one to come out, I think. Did you look? Yeah, the Mind of Evil had the excuse because it took a long time for extension work. Episode 1 had the chroma dot filtered, be colorized by hand, absolutely. So that's probably the last one to actually bring out, of course. Then on the 24th, same month, Terror of the Zygons came out. Then afterwards, on July the 15th, you had Spare Heaven Space, the Blu-ray version of that. Then on August the 5th, you got the Green Death Special Edition. Then on August 26th was the Ice Warriors came out. And then on September 16th, Scream the Shulker came out. And that's all of 2013, very much at the time. So, yeah. Very much like that. Something like that, really. I'm trying to think what else, you know, that might have been the last ones, actually. I don't know, 2013. I'll have to have a look. Come on. 26. Yeah. So the Invasion came out in November 2006, it did. November 2006, yeah. Also, it came part of a box set as well, actually. So, I think same time, actually. So, you can get it singly or get a box set with Tomb Assignment and Earthshock as well. Exclusive to Amazon, that was. Indeed. What I remember, one thing I do remember, I actually do remember this. Seen it once. It's that Third Doctor collection. I've seen it before in like an MVC years ago, but I never bought it. What was it? Spare Heaven Space, Inferno, Cause of Access, Three Doctors, Carnival Monsters, and the Green Death. So that was included on there. Amazon exclusive. I'm pretty sure I saw that in a shop one time, like on an actual shelf. I never got it though. You know, also it was in the back of the shop behind a counter. I don't know. Many years ago, I still remember that. I do. So 2013. Going back in time. Oh, I see. Okay. So, okay. Okay. So, we have those. So, oh, I know. Oh, that's why. That's why. Hold on. So, oh God. The thing, you know, so we've got them all lot on there. You've also got stuff like, what was it, the Generation box set included. The Doctors Revisited, which is our American release, that is, of the first 4 Doctors. You get the 4th Doctor Time Capsule, which is Terror of the Zygons first bit, which I think, you know, on the 29th, I think that's what it is, actually. You know, they're saying that's going to be released with a box set, maybe, and singly, because it apparently says here, somewhere, that the Terror of the Zygons, the actual release might have been released in October. Who knows? But between that, so that's after Scream the Shulker, that was in September. So then you got sort of like Monster Collection. Then you got 10th Planet that was released on 14th of October. So 10th Planet was released then, and then you got Enemy of the World, 25th of November. So that was released. They're the Doctor, Invention of Space and Time. Then you got them. So then in early January, you got Moonbase, which, you know, 2 episodes reconstructed. Then you got Web of Fear. That was released in February 24th. that was. So let's have a look. Something I noticed about out the current per week collections that none of them came out pre-2010. All the ones have at least two pre-2010 title that haven't got a special edition. That's true. I mean, some of them really don't have no, like I'm trying to think of some other, stuff has, but some of the other ones don't. That's all bothers me. I mean, Five Doctors got reissued. That's one thing. Robot to Death has. Spare from Space has as well. Memories of the Darks has. Chaos has. Movie has. Legend of Varus has. Tomb of Simon has. Arcspace has. Carnival of Monsters has. Aztecs has. Same with Resurrection, because some of them were released in the revisited box set, weren't they? Why were they in the box set? That's strange. Like, again, like Arcspace, Green Death, Legends of Varus, they were never released on box set together. They should have done that for a while. They should have kept that continuing, really, but they've released them individually. Strange. So we've got them. Let's mention like Seeds of Death, Chance of Wanchang, Dalek Invention of Earth. That's never been reissued. That has. Let's have a look. John Perry has the most special editions. Absolutely does. Indeed. Some of these, I just noticed some of these don't have actually. Like the ones that have never had the special edition treatment. Dalek Invasion of Earth, that's never had one. Earthshock's never had one. Two Doctors never had one. Curse of Fenric has never had one. Well, Three Doctors has. Visitation. Pyramids of Mars never had. Nothing from Pyramids of Mars. Green Death has. The Leisure Hive hasn't. Ghostlight never had. Horror Fan Rock has never had one. Mind Droppers never had one. Plus of Access has one. That was reissued. So yeah, those are the ones that have never been reissued actually for the special edition. So just going back. Let's have a look. So where are we at? Insurrection. So Dalek Invention of Earth, that's one. Earthshock's next, then Two Doctors, then it's Curse of Fenric, Pyramids of Mars, Leisure Hive, Leisure Hive, Ghostlight, and Horror Fan Rock, and I'm losing count now. Hold on. What am I doing? Christ, what am I doing? Try again. Yeah, so Dark Invasion of Earth, Earthshock, Two Doctors, Curse of Fenric, Pyramid of Mars, that's 5. Leisure Hive, Ghostlight, 7. Horror Fan Rock, and Mind Rover. So that's 9. 9 of them haven't been reissued on special edition, really. Also, I think it's the first time as well that Revelation of the Dice was the first one to feature 2 Entertain anyway, to be released. So that's one thing. So Revelation of the Dice was the very first one to be released under that banner anyway. So that's something else to let you know. It'll probably be released on here anyway, or mentioned in his notes here on the home media thing. There we go. Ooh. So that's interesting. No, that's interesting actually. So also this Davros box set, also released in part of the limited edition Davros box set. So you basically get Genesis, Destiny, Resurrection, Revelation, and Remembrance, but you've also got the Big Finish stuff as well. Indeed. The first one to use the 2 logo at the beginning was the Web Planet. Was it really? Oh no, I never knew that actually. I never knew it was Web Planet. So that bit might have been the old one, like they slapped 2 Insane on, but it's still like a BBC. Oh, okay. I never knew that. I actually never knew that. So again, I probably haven't seen them. I've gone DVD Web Planet. I haven't seen it yet. So I've got the novel. I've got 2 novelizations. I've got 2 copies of the novelization of the Zarbi Web Planet. So yeah, I might as well get around to doing that. Actually, maybe read the novelization first, or or watch the story. I don't know. Have to wait and see. Come on. I'll be going. I'll see you next time. See you later, Ben. It's nice to see you again, mate. I'll see you next week. Revelation of the Darks has only the BC logo. Okay, yeah. I'm actually trying to read this out now, and nothing's been mentioned about it. Although it says here that the editing of the DVD release was completed by the Doctor Who restoration team, of course. Oh, one thing to put out. There's some good Doctor Who content I've been actually watching recently. The first thing, of course, the major thing, of course, is that the review of Death has come back with in a podcast. Have you ever actually watched that with Matthew Toffolo and Billy Garrett John? I really enjoyed it. I did. Really good stuff, actually. It was basically focused on Jolly Whittaker and Chris Jones' departure. Nothing mentioned about season 30, but they mentioned about some of the stuff like potential candidates for the 14th Doctor and whatnot, and potential stuff for for showrunner. I know people complain about the transfer of Ghostlight due to the excessive picture noise, but it was shot in low-light conditions, so a reshoot wouldn't work because the source material. Okay, maybe that's why they put it off. Really, I actually don't know what the Blu-rays could be like. That's the thing. Unless they've sort of redone that, I'm not too sure. I'll have to wait until I get that standard edition of 26, which I'm looking forward to. Absolutely, because I've got all the ones anyway. Actually, 12, 19, 18, and 10. Well, the question is, am I going to get season 23 as well? I've got the limited edition of season 23. It's an original Blu-ray version of it. Well, am I going to get the standard edition of it as well? I'm not too sure. Yeah, I need to watch the review of Death, but I've never got around to it. I'll tell you what, mate. The podcast you can actually listen on Spotify, iTunes, whatever, Apple. What now? Actually, they've branched out to have a proper full podcast, and it was really good stuff. Actually, very funny. Still got a good humour that they carry on as well. Really good stuff. They really upped their game they have this time, and trust me, it's really fantastic, really good. It's on Blu-ray in season 26, so you can put the picture quality to me if it's on Blu-ray. I'll have a look actually. I have to wait until the standard edition comes out actually. So, the problem is I haven't got a Blu-ray player in this house really, but I'll probably mention it maybe at some point when I go back to my own house and probably say, it's like, they probably improve the quality or something like that. I don't really know actually. Unless someone's reported it, I'm not too sure. You think Ghostlight is fucking shit and bloody HD Blu-ray. It's like, terrible. Everything's fantastic. Battlefield, Curse of Fenric, Survival, fantastic. Ghostlight, pig shit. I don't know. I'll have a look now actually, see if they've done anything with it. Really, the DVD wasn't too bad on a HD TV, on a Blu-ray player, but you can see the noise. Okay, all right. I need to look at Blu-ray.com again. Okay, I think we should do actually, just to make sure if it's working properly. Hang on, I was trying to get. Come on. So I'll probably get that. Oh, let's check this anyway. I am looking forward to actually. I think some of the stuff I'm interested in, like the writer's room type thing. Start with season 18. You go in season 23 and 26 as well. So that's pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that really. So let's have a look. I think the other things on here is like you've got the audio commentary in there, 5.1 sound mix, isolate music. You can listen to infotext. You've got the extended work print, especially assembled for Blu-ray, a brand new 3-part extended version of Ghostlight, blending the original episodes with lower quality deleted footage to present an alternative of the classic story. Oh, so that's gonna be interesting actually when I get around to watching that. They've got some, they've got a little bit more those. I'll tell you what's going to be. It's going to be one of those. It's going to be like Cyborg, isn't it? That bloody Jean-Claude Van Damme film all years ago. They've done this a few times with some Blu-rays actually. They say delete footage. That's low quality footage and plonk them in with the actual Blu-ray footage itself. Why? It's strange. I don't know why they've done that. They've done that a few times actually with a few things. Cyborg comes to mind. Another one is Thomas the Magic Robot. Fucking Christ, it's Nick Starman. The version, look at that, like the version of the US Blu-ray that came out by Sharp actually just last year. And Christ, there was some dodgy stuff on there. Like that, they actually put like in the actual film quality, the remastered film quality, mixed in with the deleted footage from the work print, mixed with storyboards, like and everything else. It makes it look terrible. It's a amalgamated mess. To be fair, that film's an amalgamated mess anyway. It's terrible. It's shit. I hate it. So there we go. Also, some guy called Thomas Fan 261. Great creator. Does made a lot of the UK DVD reviews, of course. I loaded the DVD so I can see what Ghost Eye looks like. Oh, you're doing it now, so you're just like, you're going to expect now like slow motion. Pause every second. God. So there's that. So I'm interested to see what the web print's going to be like. I mean, it's going to be shit anyway. So like, that's good. I don't know how they're going to manage to do that. Light and dark places look like making story. Behind the sofa. That's one. Let's have a look at that. Actually, I think there's actually mentioned a few of them like that. So behind the sofa. Oh, see. I noticed that a film for showing of the Wicker Man director's film show showing a director's called The Wicker Man. Oh, that's it. That's gonna be something. I don't know. To be honest, I think I've seen Wicker Man once, maybe. I don't know, many years ago. There are some good films I've seen actually very sort of weird and trippy, like sort of do communities and whatnot. Wakewood's a good film. I need to review it. I probably need to review it, Wakewood, or maybe revisit someone. Maybe this series when I'm going to plan it out. I might have to re-scrap and redo season 14, season 50. I think 15. I think I'm working on. I'm losing track now because I haven't done it for a while. Let me have a look. Reviews. I think season 14 was the last one I did actually. I was checking my. Let me have a little look. Let's see who's 11. So look, see who's 11. Okay. Season 12. 13. And that's 14 as well. Yeah, so season 15, I probably need to redo that a bit actually. So yeah, to be honest, I'm the only one who's dim about the collection Blu-rays because it's all upscale. It's clear the BBC are bringing them to make more money. That's true. I'm not sure what they're doing though. That's the thing, But I think is it just keep up with the HD Blu-ray generation. Really, that's the main thing. I think that's what it is really. Everything's going to be upscaled. People are logging out to get 4K versions of their favorite films, like the Goonies or whatever, and awesome like Ready Player One, really Alien, 1979. That's another one that's been upscaled, been for the whole 4K treatment. Really. I think everyone just wants a decent experience, like good sound, good picture quality, just to keep themselves pleased about that, keep the eyes pleased, something like that. But they're very decent they are, and what they include is something good, some interesting, some good stuff. They really put a lot of effort to them as well. Actually, people like Chris Chapman, Pete McTeague, who's one of the Jodie for the Whittaker era as well, with Kaplan and Praxius, has done a lot of good stuff. He's really put a lot of strong input into the collection. He's a content consultant, apparently, in the Blu-ray collections. He's been doing them all the way from the beginning. Yeah, so he's been heavily involved with the Blu-rays, of course. And I think that's why people are thinking like he'd be the next showrunner or something. Bring him on board. I know Joe Wilson as well, from who wrote Witchfinders, is involved. She does like a lot of behind sofa stuff as well. Reacting to old classic stories, like saying moments and whatnot. I think him and her, they're sort of like good friends they are, indeed. The DVD range is done, and I think they're losing money on them and that's why they bring Blu-rays up, because Doctor Who fans will buy anything. That's true. Yeah. There's always collectors. It's like there's always people who tend to collect a lot of stuff. I think the last resort probably is collect all Big Finish novels and comics, really. I mean, I collected all the DVDs I did. I collected a good portion of all the DVDs. Even during last year, I completed the collection I did. I'm just waiting for the next animations to come out, really. So, Evil Darks is up next. Of course, I got Fury from the Deep as well, Faces ones, Ben type ones, Macroterra. I still got Faces ones here, actually. I've seen Fury from the Deep anyway. That's good. Faces ones, I think that's the first Troughton I ever watched. That's the first ever Troughton story I ever saw, really. Strangely, maybe part one, really. I've seen. That's the first time I ever got introduced to him, really, to his doctor. I probably need to actually rewatch it, really. See what Pauline Collins is like, of course, and see how how it works, really. How Ben and Polly sort of maybe disappear from one episode, they reappear like, oh, we're leaving, of course. I mean, I don't know, if I was sort of interested to do Doctor related stuff, I really didn't think about this. I've done weird shit anyway. I have involving the franchise. Indeed. Yeah, my DVD collection is done until they bring more out, of course. I was really who was the guy? Josh Ness, that's the guy. He was showcasing like what could be next in terms of animation reconstructions, and that's it, predicting, of course. So he did this actually. So and he does like a tier list, of course, like you've seen, like coming in the coming next years.
Let's start off. I'm feeling.
So let me find out for you. So
I'm not going to tell you why I think that. I'm not going to tell you why I think that.
Right. So I think on the first one, like after Eve of the Daleks, of course, saying that Galaxy 4 and the first is next might be Galaxy 4, then the Abominable Snowman, or the Abominable Snowman. Sorry, Shane. I can't say that. Shane. So Galaxy 4 and the Abominable Snowman might be the next ones, really. So because I think people probably say that Galaxy 4 was in production, I think, at one point. So in pre-production, post-production, or something like that. I don't know. Or game halfway through his production, I'm not too sure. So that might be the next one. The first full Harnell reconstruction, really. So that'll be interesting. I think because most of the stuff, in terms of the audios, are not the best quality, really. I think, most of the BBC have done the best, released countless times, really, throughout how many years, and cassette and CD, whatever. They could probably, and also vinyl recently as well. It can be, not the best, really. Indeed, I never actually seen any of them around my area, like in terms of releases. Stuff like the Web Planet soundtrack, or maybe something like like the Mask of St. Bartholomew's Eve, or even the amalgamation of Daleks and Master Plan. I've never seen any of that, really. The only thing I ever saw was one to do with Big Finish, and that was to do with the 10th Doctor Adventures. It was Death McQueen. I never got that, actually, but I don't think that would be still in the racks, I think, in my nearest HMV, whatever. But that'll be interesting, actually. I give it credit, actually. They're bringing out stuff like the audio versions of the missing stories, old stories. They're a mixture of the ones that actually maybe were found, like Web Planet, are being released. And then you got like Big Finish come along, stuff like that. Also, a lot of Missing Harness ones are historicals and have large casts. That is true. Because with some of this, I think what they were doing with Trout and stuff, because Trout is more like based on the small cast type thing. That seems to work. That does. So, that seems to be working. But I think Galaxy 4 is maybe a similar thing. I might be going for that first because it might, it's like smaller cast, futuristic setting. They could probably do something like that, really. And there you go, Abominable Snowman. So who knows? So let me just let me find the stamp.
Next up.
Right. So we skip. So these probably be the ones that probably come out. I won't say this year, but afterwards, really. Indeed. So the next ones he probably predicts in 2022. Yes, these are too expensive, so I bet the loose canon ones on disc. That's true. The loose canon ones you can watch them anywhere, really. Indeed. I actually don't mind them. Actually, I don't. I've seen them a couple of few times. It gets in. I just get immersed in the soundtrack. I do, really. Like look at the visuals. Yeah, of course, but I get immersed into the sound quality. The sound of it, really. So I don't mind that. Mind you, I've been listening to Big Finish as well recently as well, quite a bit. But it is interesting. I think if you listen to that on CD on your own, like just here, just on here, just like picture, it's like it's a bit hard to picture really. Whereas the loose current stuff that works. The taste snaps, that's all gives you an indication it does. I think with Big Finish that's different. It's very different animal layers really. So obviously, Dimensions Galaxy 4 and the Abominable Snowman as the next ones coming after. Who knows? Then you get some like in 2022, you get the Celestial Toymaker next. So that's basically episodes 1 to 3 animated, and you got episode 4 still around. Then you got the Wheel in Space is next. I really like Celestial Toymaker, but I doubt it would be given. They would do it given. It's a bit racist. Someone drops the N bomb in it. They could do, but would they include it? They'd probably include, or maybe remove it. I don't know really. I don't know. They probably. I think, but the same. Well, I think Josh sort of maybe thinks that might be released next year or something. It's his prediction. Then you got Will in Space, and then you got Underwater Menace. So that'll be. The thing is, I was thinking like Celestial Toymaker, Underworld Menace, and Crusade. They'd probably be. I was thinking like they should be the ones to be, done first, really, rather than do a full reconstruction of everything else. Just do the ones with the ones that've got like a couple episodes still hanging around, and use them. Don't do Bags Master Plan. Saying that for the last thing ever, but do the ones that sort of like as a full parter. Crusade, you've got episodes 1 and 3 still there. Was it 2 and 4? I don't know. I don't know. I know episode 4 Celestial Toymakers exists. That does. So first 3 episodes of that can be animated, really. So fair enough. That's what they should have done when they did the at the time when they do. That should have been the logical thing to do from after an invasion. They could have done those. They would have done Underworld Menace, Crusade, Celestial Toymaker next. That would have been interesting. That would have been easy. The easy choice to do actually. You still got you've only got like 2 episodes, 1 series of a 4-parter, 3 for another 4-parter, and 2 for another one, of course. I'm trying to think of any other ones that sort of need some more. I don't know. I really don't know actually. When I'm going to look at the Lost in Time box set because. Yeah, I don't know what everyone's going to do with that one. Actually, are they going? When that's going to be all done? Are they going to sell their Lost in Time box? Are they going to keep it forever? I'm going to keep mine forever, actually. So that's one thing. Lost in Time, Doctor Who. So, yeah, mind you, they left Fawlty Towers in half more than Towns of Enchant uncut, so they might do it. That is true. That is absolutely true. That is, they kept all the yellow face and whatnot. Really, so who knows? They'll probably still keep it in, or they can just They could probably mess around with the audio very much, like make it like a mumble sound for the N word. I don't know. Who knows? So I'm looking at the Lost in Time box set. So Reign in Terror, that's already been done. So indeed, no, what we're doing. You'll keep them, yeah. You'll keep yours as well. I'm keeping mine as well. It's a decent little thing actually. It's a decent little time capsule because I'm trying to think when that was released at the time. That would have been an eye opener for people who started collecting Doctor Who DVDs of the classic era. That this little box that comes out, it's like, there's some like missing stuff on here, and that would have been an eye opener for people, especially for the Harlan Troughton era. It's like a little bit of Harlan, but there's mainly Troughton stuff on there really. But so look. 2004 was released. 2004. January. Here we go. There's a reason why it was released actually. Lost in Time box. Okay, wait. Adverts, right. So Lost in Time box set was the title of the BBC DVD box set, released in 2004. A release prompted by the recovery of the second episode of the Dark Master Plan Day of Armageddon in January 2004. And it's a free selection of all 18 orphan episodes that make up the William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton eras. So the discovery, yeah, the Sea of the Celestial Toymaker has a brief period of narration covering the end bomb. So that's one. Yeah, that could be true. But I think, but I don't know if they'll keep it in all unless they blurt out or beep it all. I don't know. I hope they bring it out and do this so they can leave the audio uncut, giving it a historical document. They might do. Who knows? I mean, like you mentioned before, you know, the examples like Talons of Cheyenne, Poly Towers, all that sort of stuff. You know, that's all kept uncut, really. But that'd be interesting. They'll probably do that. Who knows? I think only when people, you know, release stuff cut, it's because of copyright. Some copyright reasons, isn't there? Indeed. Also thinking, there's an episode from The Wind and Willows, a Cosgrove TV show, and it's called Utah Entertainment. It was released. Its runtime original. Its actual runtime is 25 minutes, but when it got released on DVD in the 2000s, it was cut to about 20 minutes. So 5 minutes. So it's 5 minutes it was missing, really, or just gone, really. That was due to copyright, really. To that, like I think some to do with characters like the youngster singer song doing that Christmas pantomime, or whatever, or entertainment show they were doing, variety show they were doing in Toad Hall. But that was cut because of copyright stuff, really. And but back in the 80s and 90s, that was fine, actually. They released some video at that time, really. But for the DVD releases, I have a DVD release from Daily Mail. No, I think it's Sunday Times or Daily Mail or something like that. Here, it's got that on it. It's only 20 minutes of it, so it's the short version of it. But it was released in the States as part of the first season box set by A&E. So there we go. So that version still exists on DVD, but it's only in the States you can get it. You can watch it on, I don't know actually. So I don't know, unless you have a region play or something. I don't know. There we go. So what was I looking at? Oh, I see. Okay. So they've got stuff anyway. So yeah. So from Harnell's era, you've got the Crusade. So you get episodes 1 and 3. So that's the Lion and the Wheel of Fortune. So those are the 3 surviving episodes for the Crusade. It's just 2 and 4 are missing. You get the audio, but you don't get, you know. So 2 and 4 are missing. Dark's Master Plan, you got 3. You got episodes 2, 10, 11. I really don't know actually. Dave, I don't know. Just three of them surviving. Celestial Toymaker episode 4, Final Test. That's on there. That's really about it actually. So you only get the Crusade, Dark's Master Plan, and Celestial Toymaker. That's on disc 1. Nothing else. No Template. I think Template was released afterwards. The Doctor Who Restoration Team website has remained outdated, and recently the domain expired, but it's still viewable via the Wayback Machine. Of course, I've been looking at Wayback stuff. The Wayback Machine, they've archived a lot of stuff they have. Like, if you look at the old Doctor Who website from before when Stephen Moffat taken over, there was a load of stuff on there, tons of stuff like photo novels, interviews with authors as well. That was interesting actually. And actually, they've archived all sorts of stuff. I found it recently, actually. So I managed to get into see what people like Andrew Cartmel, Paul Cornell, people like Ben Aronovich and that type of thing, like being interviewed or whatnot, like on the BBC in 2000, roughly about 2004, I think. You know, showcasing like, you know, about some of the novels, of course, like, you know, how did you get involved with Virgin Publishing, of course, and how did these stories end up being published? How come this one was delayed? It was going to come out November 96, but it got delayed until May 97. You know, there could be very reasons why that thing, really. Indeed. So actually looking at this now, you see, Crusade, Dark's Master Plan, and Celestial Toymaker, those are the ones that have never been on DVD yet. So that's okay. That's one thing. So, and then we got to disc 2, of course. So we got Underworld Menace, episode 3. Only episode 3 on this one. I think when it was released on DVD, they found episode 2 they did. Yes, so episodes 1 and 4 need to be animated, really. You got the Moon Base, which has been animated beforehand. A similar thing they did actually. So 1 and 3 have been animated, and they left the base of the 2 remaining episodes on there anyway. So that's one thing. So I think that's the last time they've done that. Or no, no, it's Reign of Terror, isn't it? That's the same thing, isn't it? You know. So that, of course, Faceless Ones, that's animated completely. That is, you know, and Evo Darks, that's going to be animated completely as well. Then you got episode 3 as well. So Bottomless Snowman, that's going to be animated completely, if it is. And in the End of the World, that's found in all of its surviving episodes. That is episode 3 of End of the World on there. However, if you look at some of the older articles and most recent archives, they don't work, but they do on earlier archives. That's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It depends how it functions, really. Indeed, it depends how old the articles are, really. If you look at stuff like if you're doing stuff like back in the 90s or whatever, it can be difficult, or early 2000s sometimes. It can be difficult, really. It depends how they archived it, really. It's a tough one, isn't it? So you got Bottomless Snowman, episode 2, that's still around. Enemy in the World, episode 3, well, all episodes of it's found. Web of Fear, episode 1. All the other episodes are found, anyway, apart from episode 3, really. Will in Space, episode 3 and 6 have been found. We're on this as well. So that'll be another one I could probably be doing. Space Pirates, only episode 2 on this one. So there we go. So here we go. Yeah, since Lost in Time was released, several previously missing 60 episodes have been recovered. Airlock from Galaxy 4 and the second episode of Underworld Menace was found in December 2011. And then you've got Enemy of the World episodes 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, along with second copy already existing. As episode 3 and Web of Fear, were found in October 2013. Indeed. So there we go. How did they find Reign of Terror? That's the thing. They never mentioned about Reign of Terror, didn't they? What's not on here? Why was never? Let me have a look at find Reign of Terror. Why was it never found? Unfortunately, the RT website is mostly text, so there's no broken JPEGs. Okay, that's interesting. I have a look. Hold on. Oh, okay, here we go. So only the first, second, third, and sixth episodes, Alandafia gets the Madame Guillotine, a change of identity in prisons of Mount Greer, exists in the BBC archives as 60mm telerecordings. Okay, so that was, okay. Apparently says here, principal 4 existing episodes were recovered at a Cypriot television centre in 1985. These include a spirit print of episode 6. All stations did have original all 6 episodes, but the copies of 4 and 5, were destroyed in a bombing strike during the Cypriot Civil War. Oh, so that's been unfortunate. Yeah, so the archive holding has been updated since 2004. So that's okay. That's interesting, actually. So Reign of Terror 4 and 5 were found in Cyprus. They were, but they unfortunately got caught in a bombing. They did. But they kept the other 4 as well, so that's been unfortunate. So they couldn't really save all of it, really, anyway. Who knows? I noticed with, some collectors tend to hide stuff, really, of course, like Ian Levine, very much. Hold on to stuff like Invasion of the Dinosaurs, whatever, one of them. I think the first one, Maybe. I'm not too sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at some of them. Talking about Ian Levine anyway, so yeah. Okay. I didn't know he was right. So he was born in Blackpool. I didn't know that, actually. I thought he was born in London or something. So he comes from Blackpool, so he's northern. he's up north and that sort of thing. Invasion of the Dinosaurs episode 1 was missing. The only missing poetry episode until 1983, but I think because Ian Levine kept that, he did. He found it, of course, but he kept it secret from many of us, really. So he kept it hidden. He did. Indeed. So yeah, that's one thing. I was looking at to see what else he was doing, really, but obviously his version, of course, I think his personal life, really. So yeah, born in Blackpool. He's actually openly gay, actually, so he's homosexual, is Ian Levine, apparently, and suffered a major stroke, leaving him severely limited in life-size body, so he is in a wheelchair now, actually, for a good number of years. Oh, okay. I never knew that, really. There we go. Disc jockey, he was, obviously that, of course. Also began, I see, he was involved with the the gay disco of heaven as well, actually, so yeah, that's interesting. Opened in 1979, ooh. Heaven Worldwide. I say today. So Mondays, he continues place to host Popcorn, largely studio night, which pop and funky house music is played. Predominantly a gay event. Thursdays, plays host to Porn Idol, a strip competition for men and women, held at Astoria, with £250 offered to the winner each week. The competition comprises of several rounds, with £1,000 awarded to the season winner. Is preceded followed by 3 rooms of pop as well. So that's interesting. I'm not sure if Death to the Daleks episode 1 ever went missing. In the early 80s, an uncut NTC copy turned up in a uncut PAL copy. In the early 90s, uncut PAL copy turned up. Okay. I don't know if that's Ian Levine as well, keeping stuff like this and Invasion of the Dinosaurs episode 1. He probably kept, maybe, or something like that. Because I think he wanted stuff for himself, or maybe for a time to actually release it. It's like, we can't release these yet. We're still missing the first episodes, really, so obviously we can't do much about it. Indeed. Fridays plays host to Camp Attack, a long running night to the days of the Historia, and Saturdays is continues most live performance. Okay. So that's it, really. So that's interesting, of course. So with Ian Levine, of course, he was actually the first ever DJ to perform at Heaven. He was the first resident DJ. He's been credited, obviously, he's been credited with being one of the first DJs in the UK of the now customary style of beat mixing, of his mix of of disco, high-end RG, and early house music became the original Heaven sound. So apparently so, and obviously more DJs coming here and there as well. Indeed. That sort of thing. I don't think Ian Levine ever had videotape copies of Interesting Pal. No, I think he had the original reels, didn't he? No, he kept the original. I think he kept the original reels and whatnot. He did. He did, yes. He never kept any VHS ring. That sort of thing. Most of the videotape copies were returned from the TV stations. They were, so most of them were really, unless they were bombed or whatever. Who knows? Just check a few things. Got a lot of pop stuff on there. Christ. Right. What's this? He had 60mm film copies, but never had the 2-inch tapes. That's true. Yes, I think that's what I'm trying. I think I've sold 40 had. No, he had because he had the film copy. He had the film copies, but never had videotape copies. No, not like a pirated one. Not like teenagers in the 80s. Very much like paying like hundred sums of money, of course, to get like Doctor and Solarians of this guy from somewhere. Don't know. Oh, we drove 50 miles to this person's house. I say videotape, I meant 2-inch quad transmission tapes. Okay, so like the proper stuff like they used in terms of filming. I never actually knew about that really. Right. Okay. I never actually knew. Oh yeah. No, I was thinking, well, I think like no, I was thinking of like a different thing with parity copies. No, I think obviously videotape. Of course, they obviously use it from their indeed for the cameras. Well, actually, yeah, from when the store like a backup copy or something like that. Really. Sorry, I'm solved. I don't know. Listen, waving off a bit really. What was I going to say? That was it. Check size and videotape. That was it. Really good, actually. Indeed. I have to admit. Also, it learns about like what type of media. I had someone to tape a color broadcast of some Pertwee episodes in the US, which were used to restore the color. Using okay, he had some. Oh yeah, he had someone. Okay, save some. That's fine. But think back in the 80s, because I actually knew about this. When you got Revenge of the Cybermen on DVD, along with Southern Emphasis, there was a documentary on here. I've actually got here this now. Actually, check lives and videotape. Of course, that talks about like the bootlegging scene. Of course, involving with the whole with Doctor and the Classic Hero in the 80s, really. Indeed, like you couldn't get this, of course. Like they mentioned Revenge of the Cybermen, of course, being the first ever one to release a video. Why? I don't know. I think everyone watched that one. On video, really. Yeah, I was checking out the other ones. Greymas. Still not quite massively. No more. Yeah, but I find it very fascinating, of course. And obviously, I learned about the different generation of tape. Like, if you tape over one that's like a parity copy, you call it like a first generation and a second. When you reach like some like fourth or fifth generation, it's all pixelated. You can't really see any color, really. Just constant waves, really, with that one. Well, I've learned about that. I did name a story after that called the Eighth Generation anyway. So, to do with the video message on, that's to do with what do you call it? What's it called? Pastor 97. That's what it is. My version of Doctor, that's wild and crazy, indeed. I have to admit. I think I found most of the yeah. I don't know. Well, that's never been. I never thought that was it Myth Makers. That's another one that's never been. I mean, that came on audio recently. Actually, I think maybe a couple of years ago. But I'd love to see the Myth Makers on there, really. But I think again, big cast, really. Another one. Dark Master Plan. That's gonna be like the last ever one they're gonna do, really. I believe that you get the 2-inch NTSC tapes of Curse of Pearl on episode 3. Returned to the late 70s. A copy of the tape suffered really bad sticky shed syndrome. I never heard something like that before. I mean, I can imagine. It's like when Philip Morris got Enemy in the World and Web of Fear, and they sort of look a bit down, like they'd been stuck in, it's like someone like poured treacle on them, didn't they? Or something. Just happens to be like that. Got the Massacres on here, Celestial Toy Makers, Savages. Savages, Smugglers. Christ almighty. Templar. There's always Power of the Darks, obviously. These old ones, really. There's a full article on the background of the DWRT website. Okay, Wrestling Team website. Okay, I will do. That'd be interesting. I'm just looking for this now because I'm looking for a documentary. I'm just seeing all the classic stuff on the loose cannon reconstructions on here. It's like what It's like good truth. It's gonna be a long haul. This is. It's interesting now if you look at it now. We've basically got these now. Mostly these sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, what's missing anyway? I mean, Marco Polo, we still need. Crusade, we need. Galaxy 4, we need. Absolutely. Mission to the Unknown, that's actually been recreated now, so we probably don't need that, really. Myth Makers, we need. Galaxy Master Plan, we need. It's 12 Part Glory. The Massacre, we need. Celestial Toy Maker, we need. Savages, we need. Smugglers, we need. Templar, we've got anyway, so I don't know what's on there. Power Darks, we've got already. Highlanders, we need. Absolutely. Magatober, we've got. Faceless Ones, we've got. Eve of the Darks Brigade, next month we are. Brill. Bomb of Snowman, we need. Fear of the Deep, we've got already. We need. Let's check out what else in here. Will in Space, we need anyway. What else? Space Pirates, we need. I think that's about it, really. So we've got quite a few. There's a few interesting stuff on here as well, like all bonus features. Water 7. Okay. Origins of Doctor Who. Check class and videotape. That's pretty good. So, yeah. When it's it's when moisture gets into the menacing tapes and the binding of menacing oxide starts to separate, and it gets stuck to video heads. Oh, really? Oh God! Christ Almighty! Oh. So that's probably that's basically the liquid stuff like could probably be again all being sticky. That's the oxide just really coming off the tape, isn't it? Good Lord! Ooh. That'll be a pain in the arse. That one. I mean, people have probably got stuff with the lofts or something like that. You know, they probably recorded many years ago, and probably for now. How did? Oh God! Because Oliver Postgate, he's got tapes, doesn't he? Of course. There's a lot more that happens. God, I can imagine. What was it? Because Oliver Postgate's got a lot of film reels in his cowshed, doesn't he? Because I think in a documentary before he died or something, he said, he saw there's a pile of film casters nearby. He said, oh, one of those days I'll get round to it, of course. And you look at them, they look a bit dingy and whatnot, and look like the actual case is a bit rusted. It's like, are you sure? It's like you're trying to burn your legacy or something, then, mate. Obviously, the sun's taken off anyway, so that's all around. Really, but I'm not too sure what the damage effect of them is, really. But who knows? Probably in good condition. I don't know, really. We'll just have to see. There's a process called tape baking, which dries the moisture out of the tape so they can be transferred in a more stable tape stock. Okay, so apparently that might be the obvious way. That's the obvious way of doing this, isn't it? Probably. No. That's okay. Yeah, I can imagine. That's probably been, again, used for years. I mean, there's that sort of reference on the restoration team side as well. The process of tape baking. Do they use that type of thing as well? Probably. I think in many cases, really, of course. I think that's what maybe Dan Postgate has been doing as well, actually. Yeah. The Odyssey Archive did an extensive video on it. Oh, okay. So that'll be interesting. So that's another YouTube channel, is it? The Odyssey Archive. Okay. That's going to be interesting. Let me have a quick little look anyway. So the Odyssey Archive probably is. Oh, yes. Okay. That's something. I think when there's something about creating stuff that sort of that rings bells with me, like if you do with books or something, really. There's a guy I know who I watch sometimes called Jules Burt. Specialises in collecting books, like old Penguin books, old-fashioned novels, really. Again, Doctor Who fan, of course, as well. He does a lot of, again, book collecting, vintage book collecting, of course, and does a lot of interesting good polishing. Also uses a toothbrush to brush off everything else, like dust and everything, like old dirt and everything else. It's actually it's quite fascinating, it is, really. It's like, oh, so that's how you create old vintage books, really. You get somewhere else and you probably think, I'll whip these into shape. Well, I'll try and find them out for you. fascinating stuff. He's also a big Simpsons fan. He collects a lot of Simpsons stuff, really. That type of thing. Indeed. Let me try and find out for him. Let me just have a look. I think I've come across him. I think I've come across him because he did the Target novels. He did, and so I'll try and have a look actually. So, and here we go. So he's done quite a few here.
This is Lucky Jim, and this one was published in the UK back in 1953.
Something like this.
Now, this particular book, this Kingsley Amis, this was his first ever novel. So obviously Kingsley Amis went on to write about 50. They're just good. They're just good, fun stories. There's nothing too heavy. It's all a little bit of fun. I do particularly like Lucky Jim, and The Green Man are probably my two favourites of his. But he, of course, he was the very first person to take on the role of writing James Bond after Ian Fleming died, and he wrote, of course, Colonel Sun under the pseudonym Robert Markham. But Lucky Jim, I've got a big collection of Amis first editions. I've got about 40, but I never owned the very first edition. So I was delighted to find this undust wrappered copy of Lucky Jim on ABE Books of all places, and I got it for £25, including the postage. It was £17 and £8 postage, which was ridiculous for that much postage, but I did think it was worth £25 in total, which is what I paid for this very rare first edition, which I believe only had 1,000 copies in total ever printed for him. But without a dust wrapper. Now, as you can see, this is not the greatest of copies. There was that little sort of notch on the side, which I've just sort of scalpeled off. And also on the spine here, which is very, very faded. So the original green boards have just faded over time. So I think the yellow dust wrapper is long gone. But it looks almost like it's like a waxy sort of substance that has been popped onto the side, or something splashed onto it. It might be coffee. To me, it sort of looks like wax, but it's not like it's like dried wax, which is just coming off, because it didn't sort of slide off the scalpel that easily. So, well, as you'll see, it does slowly but surely start to come up, but it's by no means perfect. But I mean, the faded spine, there's nothing I can really do about it. It is what it is.
And also, he goes from there. He does really. One always quite surprised me, and I thought was actually pretty brilliant, actually. And I'll bring it in now, actually. Probably have to hold the whole bloody video up. So something I actually really get into, of course, is Doctor Who novels. I've been indulging them since 2018, actually. So doing stuff like the time of the Quiz Channel era, I've been really getting into like the off-canon, like the off-media stuff, really. Other media, like not the audios and novels, really. The novels I've really going into. I'm in the middle of reading Illegal Alien, which is a Seventh Doctor and Ace story with the Sidemen in doing the Blitz, written by Mike Tucker and Robert Perry. Mike Tucker was one of the visual effects artists of the BBC at the time. He worked on the McCoy era and everything else. I will link the DRT article of Cure Peladon after the stream. That's absolutely fine. If you want to, that's fine. Going back to the Illegal Alien, I've been reading that so far. It's actually a pretty good story. It is really good. They've actually built. It's actually a very good, well built. It's like showing off the Blitz and whatnot. It's just fascinating. It is really good stuff. It was actually based on an unmade TV story, a script that Mike Tucker and Robert Perry actually wrote, doing the production of series 26 around the same time actually, and presented it. He did, but he presented underneath a pseudonym called Greg Ashby. But obviously they found out, obviously he did that because I think no one in the visual effects knew he could write a story. Actually, written this right script really, but he did. He and his friend Robert Perry, who I think worked on EastEnders, I think, who did a lot of script writing on EastEnders. I'm not too sure, but they ran the story. Obviously, it didn't get made because of Curse of Fenric, really, because it's set at the same time as World War II. But their story was really set in London during the Blitz, really, at the height of the Blitz. Whereas this one was sort of like, well, Curse of Fenric involves like Russians at a base really, Northumbria or somewhere, Northumberland or something, on like a coastal bit really. But it was never adapted until anything else. It was never picked up by Virgin Publishing. They never picked up that one. Don't know why. It was never adapted into a Target novel, like the missing episodes, like with Nightmare Fair, Ultimate Evil, and Mission to Magnus. That was never picked up either, or never novelized at that time, really. So it was never been reconstructed as a missing adventure, like the Virgin Misadventures. That was never something like that. But it did become a novel when the BBC took over the rights to it to get their license back. Actually, it's like they didn't renew Virgin's license in about 96, 97, and obviously my talking Bob Perry brought in Illegal Alien, and they adapted to a novel that did. So basically, the Eighth Doctor was still the current Doctor at the point, and also the past Doctor Adventures deal with Hartnell to McCoy at that point. So the first McCoy novel to be released, like sort of based on the television era, is Illegal Alien, and I'm sort of getting through it really. So it is interesting, really good stuff. I have a copy upstairs in the bedroom. I've just started. I think I'm on chapter 6, chapter 7. I think at the point. Really good stuff, really. And I think just to bring this point up, actually, I can probably showcase the missing adventures, of course. So the thing with these is they're basically novels that started between actual television stories. Like if you have your collection of classic DVDs, I don't think everyone's too stupid to do that, really. But insert a novel in between stories, really, But I certainly don't. But it's like these are like stories in between serials, really. It's like let me think. There's a good mix. There's a good mixture actually on this thing. So it affects. You got the first six Doctors on this one. So William Hartnell's Colin Baker on these ones. They were published between 94 to 97, and I'll probably showcase through some of these, like a brief showcase them as well, because I really like this. I've actually got about 7 of them, I think. I've got about 7 or 8 of them. I do. I've read one of them before, Goth Opera. That's fantastic. That is. If you want like a dark Fifth Doctor story, that's a really good one. I'd probably say that's the best thing to come out. Like it's meant to be in season 20. It's like slotted between more stories in season 20, but it's a really good story. Fantastic, very good. It's got the Fifth Doctor and the 17 in. Sort of, it's like a sequel to State Decay. It is. But it's a really good one. It's mainly probably it's saying Manchester. It is really fun. It's a really good story, very grim story as well. Like you probably see in season 21. Really, that sort of grim bleakness. It's really good. It's it's written by Paul Cornell, who did, Father's Day and 2-part Family of Blood, Human Nature, Family of Blood, as well. Weren't doing the Wilderness Years, of course, and he obviously presents this, missing adventure of the Fifth Doctor with Peter Davison's Doctrine. It's bloody good. You get into some very interesting. There's some very interesting, colorful characters like Victor Lang, some American talent evangelist who's basically, I just picture him as, it's basically like, a print Rosner's version, not print Doctor Who's version of Jimmy Savile, in a way. I could probably say like white hair, wears tracksuits very much, like very tight thing, really. And I think he gets blown up or something like that, or he gets blown to pieces, of course, like in the Trafford Centre, I think, or Trafford Stadium, whatever. Doing a speech, of course, and all the vampires attack all the locals, all the Mancunians, whatever. It's just a really good. It's very bleak, very good story. I remember reading it, I think, this is really good. This is really good. Obviously, I like Paul Cornell stuff. I do. I've read 2 of his novels anyway, so then that one, then Happy Endings. So I'm reading the first big, reading a PDA in a minute anyway, which is really good. First time because I always thought the Virgin stuff was top tier stuff. You know, I always think like, you know, I'm sticking with Virgin. Obviously, you know, the BBC, they done some, you know, complicated shit really. And that, you know, what they were doing with the Eighth Doctor stuff, the past Doctor stuff. Well, past Doctor stuff is easy, okay, attainable, but the Eighth Doctor stuff, that was a complicated mess. That was, Christ. You know, if you want a complicated story, look at this. Look at the Bloody War in Heaven arc, really. And, you know, the whole thing with the faction paradox. Fucking Christ. Jesus Christ. You know, there are some cracking stories in there, but the whole thing sort of, you know, you got the idea of like the Doctor's losing his TARDIS. There's a third Romana incarnation, like, so no Lalla Ward. It's some Romana with like black bobby hair, look like Marlene Dietrich or something, really. The big is press because he lost his wife, and of course, you know. Yeah. Interestingly, season 21 is one I really need to go back to, mainly because Resurrection of the Daleks, because it's the first Davison, you know, the first Davison, so I couldn't truly, because the first Davison, so I couldn't really truly appreciate it. So, okay. That's interesting. I think Resurrection, that was one of the first ones as well. I still enjoy that, actually, because it is complicated in a way, like involving the Daleks trying to assassinate the High Council or do duplicates and whatnot. And, you know, but it is grim. It's bleak and quite graphic as well in places, you know. You got I think the opening out, you got people like, you know, like you got Liz and his cronies in police officer outfits shooting people in the London Docklands at the beginning. And they basically shoot all random people they do. Like, including a few old people probably walking past, they shoot them to death, leave them in the gutter or not. You got the soldiers, these soldiers within in the warehouses facing us a Dalek. They destroy it, but yeah, I saw it rather, but I need to watch it again. Yeah, I mean, it is graphic. This Boys of the Deep has some interesting moments. I think I saw the recent, of course. You know, there's a funny running gag in that story. It's like, you know, one of you know, I think it's the Doctor and Tegan say like the Fifth Doctor wears a hazmat suit throughout the story, of course, because I think at the end of episode 1 he gets dropped down to that bloody tank system, doesn't he? I didn't see much of Davison until near the end of mainly because the majority of them came out in box sets. Yeah, that's true. Because I remember getting the New Begins box set. That's Cash of Alpha in. You got the Tegan Tales, which is Time Flight and Arc Infinity, which are the horrible story, which are the worst stories ever. And long, you know, Chameleon Tales. That's another one with King's Demons and Power of Fire. That's another one. What else? Earth Story with the Awakening. What else? God. Birth Beneath the Surface as well. With Boris the Deep on that one. There are some good stories in there in Davison's era. I much prefer season 19 and 21 really. 20 I can't get really. That's one probably the worst season I've ever of classic Who I've ever seen. Really. There's some really dumb shit in that shit in there really. Arc Infinity. The only thing good about is the film in Amsterdam. That's about really about it. And Colin Baker as Commander Maxwell. That's the best things about that story. Snake Dance. It's a bit rubbish, really. It's not a good sequel to Kinder. Martin Clunes it's interesting because that's his first performance in television, really. Martin Clunes. Okay, you know, but it's not a good sequel. I don't know why they've done a sequel to Kinder of all things, really. Mortal Undead. Bit confusing in a way. It's a bit graphic in some places with Mordrin pretending the Doctor. You think oh, it's the Doctor who's burned to death, or it's like a burnt corpse. That is a bit graphic, actually. I understand why that's rated 12 for. You know, that's confusing. The whole paradox between the two brigadiers, whatever, that's a bit strange, really. Even though it's meant to be Ian Chesterton, apparently. William Russell's meant to appear in Mortal Undead, but he was busy with other commitments, so Nicholas Courtney came back in it. Terminus, God. Enlightenment, yeah, really. And then you got King's Demon, which is a bit of a filler two-parter. It's not good, really. Five Doctors is probably the best thing out of it, really. You know, that's came afterwards. But like I mentioned before, Goth Opera, that's meant to be set in between Snake Dance and Mortal Undead. And that's a brilliant story. That's a really good. I always say that's a good season 2020 story. You think, I think of that as a good season like Toy Story. Then all the rest in that series really, it's not good really. 21. What was the? I don't mind actually. It's a good based on the Siege story. You know, it's based on the Siege. Probably get past that. You know, Salad Sea Devils, the Merca. I can live with really. You know, obviously, production issues aside, I look at that. I think okay. You know, the Awakening 2-parter, a bit strange really. You know, it's like modern. It's like people are sort of like you've over like something like a civil war or something, but in modern times. Interestingly, good location footage actually. I have to admit. Frontios, that's bleak. Nice bleak. I love the cliffhanger at end of episode 3. Like, well, some to the commander, of course. Well, look, and there's tank wheels. It's like the commander's 7 heads on there. It's on pick. It's horrible. It's bouncing around. Like it's like, oh god. And that's what the cliffhangers of Frontios. Christ. Resurrection of the Daleks. That's bleak, but it's a good one. 1 minute. First Davison story, so I still love that one. Planet of Fire. Weak. I think probably the weakest one of the bunch, really. I quite like The Awakening. It's decent. It's underrated. No one ever talks about The Awakening. You know, I'd probably say, you know, like this and Black Hawk are probably the best ones on the Davison era. 2 parts. King's Demons can fuck off, really. Yeah, but The Awakening's decent. The Malice, I fucking hate The Malice because it creeps the hell out of me. You know, that's probably one of the only classic Doctor Who villains I was freaked out by. Really, apart from the giant spiders and maybe Street, that's a phobia thing, really. Giant spiders, but the Malice, fucking Christ, that's creepy. Because I saw that in the Blackpool Doctor Who exhibition at the time on Blackpool Promenade when it was there. Christ, I remember because they did 2 things. I think the first one, of course, was the face. You press the button, his lights light up. Really, I was like, okay, but you press another button, and there's that miniature one. Like that miniature crawling one, of course. And he sits there, his head's spinning around like that, and he flashes. It's like, fucking hell. It's like, that is fucking creepy, that is. That is absolute terrifying. Probably give kids a shock when they press that. It's like, you know, that thing, like, you know, like some weird stone witch-headed creature. It's like, ah! And kids run across wherever and get freaked out. That is good. You've also got stuff like Tractators as well, and bloody... You know, bothered about going brr, brr. Tractators, obviously, you know, that type of thing. Yeah, but it was good. It was good. It was shame it closed down. Really, I actually found out. I went to Blackpool recently. I walked to the promenade front. I did. I noticed there's a Star Trek exhibition there where Doctor used to be. They've done a Star Trek one now. I don't know if that's open or not. I don't know. But they did a Star Trek one instead, which is strange. Like they closed the Doctor Who one, but they replaced it with a Star Trek one. Interesting, strange. Yeah. Indeed, used to go there quite a lot. The only thing I got from there is the 2 Doctors VHS from 1993. Still got it. It's one of my favourite cast stories ever. It is. Still got that. I still love 2 Doctors. A lot of people are mixed on that story. I love it. It's long, I have to admit. It's 3 45-minute episodes. It's like a 6-part. It's basically like a 6-parter, but it's pretty good. You know, Colin's fantastic. Patrick Troughton's fantastic. Fraser Hines is good. You've got the locations of Seville is brilliant. The Suntarans are a bit of a shoehorn-in villain, really. The Androgons are pretty interesting because they're basically space cannibals, really. And and it's interesting that they do some interesting stuff. The Doctors, like, you know, they turn the 2nd Doctor, Patrick Troughton, into a cannibal with bushy orange eyebrows. And that is something that's bold. That is quite bold. That is, you know, indeed. Wandering around in top hat in sunny Spain, whatever. You know, trying to feast on restaurant, like go to a restaurant, eat everything, and try and eat the bloody waiter or something. I don't know, or try and feast on some Oscar or something. Well, he gets going to get stabbed. He does. Season 20 is brutal. It is, but it's a really good. It's really good. It is. You know, brilliant stuff. I do like the Doctor stripped down here. It's like with Colin, of course. He just wears a shirt and waistcoat. He does for the story. Really good stuff. You know, I do like that. I like that when the Doctor's all stripped down to be. I mean, like Planet of Fire as well. Like Davison's just down to like a polo shirt or something like that, braces really in that story. Again, stripped down because of the hot weather and everything else. You know, really good. Tom Baker as well in Delhi Assassin. Again, just like boots someone on like a floppy shirt, whatever. I think the 2 Doctors is good. Really, for Patrick Troughton, who is possibly my favourite Doctor, he is good. I have to admit, he's, you know, if I had to pick 5 doctors really that I really like to enjoy, really, I mean, Patrick Troughton, obviously, he's brilliant. Attack the Cybermen is the only you despite the goal. Yes, again, the Warship Down syndrome. What do you call it? Warship Down syndrome. Release it, you kids will love it, of course. You see Simon crush a man's hand to death. You know, hands to death with blood, you know, like covering the floor sometimes. It's like, wait, what? And people knocking Simon's heads off. Lytton, who's part converted, stabs a screwdriver with the Cybertron's arm, and all this green stuff comes out. You know, it's a bit brutal. It is for you, but there we go. I mean, the BBC just didn't care that much. Like, you know, it's like, no, Doctor Who, Simon, Colin Baker, it's fine. No, we'll slap down for you. And they probably didn't even look at it. That might be a timing thing, I don't know. They probably looked at it. It's like, yeah, it's Doctor Who. Probably used to have got it, release it out. And they probably didn't check until maybe whenever. It's like, yeah, oh, wait, what? Oh, wait, that's... And I think they probably didn't even check it or something. For you, Charlton, Pertwee, McCoy, and Baker. Tom Baker. Indeed. Oh, I wonder if we should do a ranking. I'm interested. I've always wanted to do a ranking of doctors. I really like to try that, really. I'm interested to know, really, but I'll have to do mine, sort mine out at some point. I'll do mine actually now. I'm interested to see how you rank the incarnation of the Doctor, really. I'm interested to see, really. I wonder if this will happen. I'll sort mine out. I'll do mine, actually. And where do we go from there? So... let's have a look. I'd like to know, actually. I'll probably do my list quickly first, anyway. I'll put the surnames, really. I don't really watch the modern series, so it's classic. That's absolutely fine, mate. You know, if it's classic Doctor, it's absolutely fine. You know, to be fair, I don't wish much classic here anymore. But I can probably try and do stuff really with it anyway. So, let's see how we do. Let me have a look. So it's hard to think sometimes with, you know. Ooh, so this is basically your top pick and then your bottom pick afterwards. So that's your ranking. Okay. Ooh, that's gonna be a bit interesting choice. Mine's different. Mine's completely different. So I'll just try and think of the other ones. Although Colin's really underrated and gets too much shit, it's fine, mate. That's your opinion. If it's all right, you know, I don't, you know, because whatever I'm Colin, it's quite, you know, it's one of those things really. But let's do it. All right. Just give me a second. Yeah, so basically, well, you just basically done the first 7, haven't you? Okay, I've just done the 13 I have. So yeah, that'll be good. So for your bottom pick, it's Colin Baker, then it's Pierre Davison, then Tom Baker, then Sylvester McCoy, then John Pertwee, and finally Patrick Troughton. That is actually pretty good, actually. You know, it's not a bad list, of course. You know, but Travis reigns the top supreme, then followed by Pertwee, then McCoy. That's pretty good actually. Pretty amazing stuff. I can imagine. Colin, I can understand people Colin. They don't really get on with his doctor as much, you know, unless they've only seen the television stories. That's understandable, you know. Unless they've looked at a big finish like I have in the novels and expanded media, you know, I respect him a lot more. I do really, you know. Obviously, what he's done in his efforts, of course, he's still proud of what he's been doing. He's still the Sixth Doctor to this very day. He is doing all the audits and stuff, so he's still carrying on doing that thing really, but by his own version of it, of course. And yeah, it's still going on really. Peter Davison, I can understand why with him because he's kind of warm. He's kind of like yeah, they can all turn. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, some people probably think Davison's so mid tier really. Some people probably think he's lower. I know some people think he's probably the weaker one out of the bunch. Yeah, as can Trout and Pertwee. Yeah, that's true with Trout and Pertwee. Well, mine's shocking, but we'll finish up with some of what's called. I mean, McCoy. I can imagine he's brilliant. McCoy, absolutely. Baker. A lot of people always say Tom Baker is the best. Really, they can rank him up higher with David Tennant. You know, that's it. They seem to be the two that always seem to be very popular. You know, you think a classic hero, Tom Baker, absolutely. Modern Who, David Tennant, really. But there we go. Right. So yeah, and obviously Peter Davison's all again his performance really because it's you know it's been I don't know vulnerable yes, young innocent of course yes, can be a bit bland sometimes in a way, but there we go. Colin depends. I think because of reduction and stuff like that, how it varies really, of course. Travis and Pertwee because they're both brilliant, absolutely indeed. So let's go for mine. So I've done the 13, of course. I've basically done Tom Baker's fantastic until his stories went downhill. Absolutely. When Graham Williams come along, of course, you can see it say decline. But we still have good story. There's some good stories still there. There are some brilliant stories. And I think the first half of season 15 is good. Indeed. Horror Fan Rock, Imogen Fandel, Sun Makers, brilliant. Underworld, take or leave it. Invasion of Time, sort of underrated class. It's been underrated, really. Kids Time, some decent stuff in there. Pirate Planet, really. Season 17 has some weird stuff in there. City of Death is good. I remember you didn't think it's underrated. And Sharda. Let's say the Dark don't mind, really. And then you got his last series. Excuse me, the fly around here. His last series is there's some interesting stuff like State of Decay, Warriors Gate, Keep It Draken. I don't really find Logopolis that interesting, really. You know, it's a bit of a rubbish end, really. Only I can't connect with Horror Fan Rock. Oh, okay. I mean, because it's a last minute story. I mean, because originally it was meant to be a story called Vampire Mutations. That later became State of Decay, really. But that was meant to be State of Decay was meant to be in season 15 actually. But obviously, the BBC were doing Dracula at the time actually, around the same time actually, so they couldn't do it. If they did a version, if the Doctor did a version of Dracula, they'd probably tainted the BBC's idea for adapting Bram Stoker's version, really. So yeah. So let's go through what I've got. So I've got the 13 here. The 13 Doctors here. Do I have? Yes, I do. Do I? Hold on. Let me have a look. So yeah. Oh, hold on. I've missed one out. So it's 14. There is. Let me have a look. Right, here we go. I don't mind the Williams stuff, but the Hinchley stuff is brilliant, of course. I think because they were bold and did all sorts. They adapted all sorts of stuff to do. A lot of people have a sound of Horror Fan Rock and say it's the best, but I never got the appeal. I probably need to see it actually, but it's sort of like the last gasp of the Hinchcliffe era. Like he was like a byproduct, like an afterthought product of it, really. But who knows? But obviously, Robert Holmes was still the script editor to that point, really. When the Taker was going on, he sort of left halfway through season 15. That's one of the last few stories he actually script edited, really. So he does have that sort of feel to it, but who knows? Right, let's go for this. So the 14. So let's go through the bottom, of course. At the bottom is Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor. partly because the thing is, I'm not really a fan of his era. Looking back on his stuff, I can't really get into his era. Season 5 is brilliant. Don't get me wrong, it's a really good series. It's a really good series, but it's still a fantastic series. It's the last gasp of what Doctor Who. It had all the elements to be a great story, but I can imagine. With Smith, I think season 5 is a brilliant series. It's a really good series, a really good start, powerful start, fantastic it is. When you see season 6 and 7, that really taints it, really. And I don't know, there's some weird, stupid stuff with Smith, really. Clownish. Obviously, he's trying to be like Troughton, like a modern version of Troughton, but it's too in your face, really. It's too try hard with Smith. I really struggle with him, really. And there was a point in when I was watching it at the time, when it was broadcast, I really lost interest, really, with Doctor Who, really. I think about back end of season 6 and the first half of series 7, it was really doing nothing for me. And that's how I felt, really, at that time. Smith was really not gelling at all with me at that point. His later half, well, towards the middle of his end of his career was really tenure. It really wasn't gelling with me. It never gelled. I think the second half of season 7 saw maybe a little bit of improvement, really. I think you got David Doctrine, of course. I actually married the Tom Baker era of my mum earlier this year, and some grew on me and some others lost me. That is true. Some stuff Matt Smith ever does grow on you, really. So like Night Terrors, I think I like that story. It's underrated. It's very underrated. It is, like Mark Gay's story. It's like I do like the idea of the Doctor, as child sending for help or not. And of course, the Doctor picks it up. It's like, I will help solve this problem out because this child. It's like he senses this child wants help or something. I agree to the daily assessment, which I used to find overrated. It depends, really. If you think, people probably see daily assessments overrated. Like constantly overrated, really. But it's just one of those things, really. Indeed. If you love it, if you still love it, that's fair enough. I probably still like daily assessment anyway because how trippy and weird it is sometimes, really. And the Master's creepy as shit, really. Like him as a decaying corpse, like like a hermit thing. It's like, but with bulgy eyes and stuff. Like God, with horrible latex mask or something. But there we go. Night Terrors, I think, is underrated. What else can I think is underrated? Really, that's good. That's from series 6. That's a pretty decent story. That is. Very quite dark story. That is. Rebel Fish and Almost People. That's pretty good as well. And the Brain of Morris was a highlight. Still good. Indeed. There are some stories I hate, really. Indeed, I really hate. I don't like The Girl Who Waited. That shit. That is really pointless. Really, it focuses too much on Mamie and Rory. And that she's left. She's growing older. I really hate that. The Gold Complex is actually a decent story. Let's Go Hitler's shite. That is horrible. Good Man Goes to War. Horrible. Curse of the Black Spot. Doctor's Wife. Some good points to it. Michael Sheen is the voice of House. You got an Ood in there. There's some creepy shit in the TARDIS as well. Trying to go around the corridors and whatnot. Really. That was written by Neil Gaiman, who did Coraline and Sandman and American Gods. Really, he wrote that one. There's points of it I don't like, really, in terms of like the whole thing with Saran Jones as Idris. I really can't get it, that sort of thing. Smith's all over the place, really. There's a lot of childish element. The problem is for the Smith era, when Moffat took over, it was pandering to the American audience, and that's where it lost me, really. I think I lost interest with Doctor Who because how it felt too Americanized. It's still being produced in Britain here and there, but it felt Americanized. It pandered to the American crowd, and I think that's why Britain lost touch with Doctor Who. After what Russell did, it was top form. Everyone knew about Doctor Who here and there. Brilliant stuff, really. It was there getting worldwide views and whatnot. Overnight views. People still knew Doctor Who was. That show was. It was still well good. It's like, did you see Doctor Who on Saturday night? Yeah, it was fucking brilliant. That was. And like the whole thing with like a giant wasp again trying to attack Agatha Christie. That was brilliant, really. Indeed. Indeed. I really like Stephen Moffat's early stuff during these times as a sitcom writer. Joker Part was great, and Chalk is a very underrated gem. But he lost when Doctor Who came along that is true. A lot of people brought expectation because he ran classic stuff for the Russell T Davies era, because he ran Empty Child Doctor Dances, which is good. Girl in the Fireplace is all right, really. I don't mind that. Blink, I hate. It's too overrated. It's bloody overrated. I fucking hate Blink. I said that when I've got, there's one coming up in this soon about series 3. I do mention it like it's too overrated. I fucking hate that one. Science Library, that's an interesting one because I listened to the first part. I've never seen Forest of the Dead, so I don't know. I can't comment on that one. I've only seen the first part. I've never seen the second part. I haven't done since really. So I've gone. It's on my player. I've got the DVD box set as well, but I've never seen Forest of the Dead. I haven't seen that. I'd just probably say Empty Child is the better one he's written for the Russell T Davies era. But I have to admit, Series 5 is brilliant. 6 and 7, that's downhill. It's like you mentioned about Tom Baker, brilliant start to his era. Then he goes downhill then, really. He wrote Curse of Her Death, which was hysterical. It's a loving parody. It's good, it is. Bits of that end up in Magician Apprentice, and which is familiar, funny enough. Some of those elements go in that bloody story, that two-parter, which let me get right. I'll get into when I'll talk about Capaldi, really. So we'll get there. So Miss Smith, he's below the list because it felt like Doctor Who was become more Americanized and we lost touch, really. What Elson did, make Doctor Who relevant and make him interesting. And us Brits loved it. When Smith come along, it really took out, everyone saw distanced themselves from it, really. Like, some people say it's too kiddie, it's too Americanized, and it's too complicated to understand. That's why I don't like Matt Smith very that much, really. So coming up after Matt Smith, we've got Sir John Hurt as the War Doctor. I think the only reason why he's below because there's less interesting stuff with him, really. Apart from Day of the Doctor, you got Engines of War, and you got the 4 box set, Big Finish stuff, really, and that's about it, really. So that's all John Hurt's ever done with the War Doctor before his death, really. But I just don't know. There's not much to him, really. He's like, he's not really a doc. He's not really. He's sort of a doc. He's still a doctor, but he's not really another doctor. It's the War Doctor, really, that he vowed and got rid of his name, really. And he's just below the list, really. And it's really can't grasp as much, really. Same as Smith, but it's a different reason. John Hurt's a fucking brilliant actor. He's a really good actor, but he's a doctor for the time, for the anniversary. You think, wow, that is something out of the blue. The TV was made for American audience. Ironically, it bombed in the US, but still did well in the UK. Okay. Made of an American audience. Okay. Indeed. That's okay. So, yeah. Who else? I can't be saying much about John Hurt, really. So let's go to the next one, which is David Tennant. I've gone back to look at David Tennant, actually. I thought there's some good stuff in there. There is, there's some really good stuff. The problem is I find with him is the romantic stuff with Tyler is screamingly cringe. It's horrible. It's not good. There are some good stuff in that era, but that stuff takes it away. The TV movie. Oh yeah, the Paul McGann 96 movie. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I thought I said like TV. I thought it was like a TV series. I didn't mention about the TV movie. Yeah, because the reason why, because why I was back. The one didn't do well because Roseanne was on another network, and that was taking all the views. Bloody, what's her face? She's out of work because of tweets and whatnot. You got John Goodman in that thing as well. I forgot her name. Was that a Dawson? I think it is. Her, taking all the American views and what for Rosanna because her husband had a heart attack, didn't it? Like it was like another big TV moment in American television history, whatever. Like, John Goodman has a heart attack at the wedding. They were meant to get married, and he has a heart attack, and obviously that left on a cliffhanger. It's like, oh my god, obviously, the TV movie failed, of course. Here in the UK, we thought, the Brits just take to a duck to water. Really, it's like, oh good, that's obviously, like, oh, it's coming back, isn't it? It's like, oh, McGann's taking over. Well, him from Monaco Mutiny and Alien 3, whatever. Him from what do you call that? Hanging Gale. That's it. Maybe taking over the Doctor. Scouse Doctor. That's interesting. So, and obviously people enjoy it and think like, right, where's that TV series going along? Oh wait, there's not. Roseanne and the fact that Doctor Who was much the cult thing. It was Roseanne and the fact, yeah, Roseanne and the fact that Doctor Who was a cult thing in the US than it was in the UK. Yes, that's true because I mean it's a cult thing in with I think yeah, because I mentioned the UK, of course, obviously, but in the 90s, of course, you still have Doctor Who magazine, you still had the novels, you still had whatever, virtuous releases. So it's just like basically people like nerdy teenagers, people like myself, really, type thing. It's like we got those, go to a local version next door, whatever, and get the latest VHS. Really, watch that for a good, spend a good an afternoon watching that, drinking beers while being like, this is fucking brilliant, of course. And it's like, it's shit, but I'm still having a good time, type thing. It's like, and people looked at it thinking, fucking worthless lot they are, really, fucking weirdos. That sort of thing, really. Whereas in the US, it was all more accepted. It's like Red Dwarf, in a way. It's like, I would probably say there are female Doctor Who fans in the 90s as well. If you look at people who actually written for the novels as well, like Kate Allman, who was a Australian fan, she was, and ended up writing there, of course. She, watching stuff like Colin Baker and whatnot when it was shown in Australia at the time. And she, obviously, she did some interesting stuff that sort of felt like Moffat-esque type stuff she did. She was like an early precursor of Moffat. There's some weird timey-wimey. I'm not going to say, no, Mama said that. No, I hate that. She did something like that before in the first novel. The TV movie was shown cut upon the original show in the UK. It was uncut. It was the cut BBC 12 version, which was using VHS. The DVD version's been fully uncut. Absolutely. I'm not sure if the cut version was on the two. I think the 2001 has that cut version instead, but the full uncut version wasn't too really. Was the Teeth Revisitations box set? That's it. Yeah, that's interesting. So I mentioned before, Tennant is next after Hurt. Number 11 is John Pertwee. I put Pertwee down below. Of all the classic Doctors, I put Pertwee down below. I find his era overrated. Very overrated, really, unfortunately. He's good. He's a good actor, John Pertwee, but I find his era overrated, really. 2001 DVD was uncut. Okay. All right. I always thought that was uncut, really. So, yeah. So basically, the early DVDs they released, the BBC released them coverage of the TV movie. Okay. All right. So at number 11 is John Pertwee, really. A lot of people bang on his era, like saying, the best Doctor ever, brilliant stuff, really. And yeah, it's good. There is a little bit of variety in it, though, in a way, because he's exiled to Earth, really. You have the stuff of the unit, which is good. You flesh out the unit characters and whatnot, everything else. Bring some new companions like this show and John Grant in. Yes, absolutely. Mike Gates, who I find the least interesting character in the unit stuff. He's too boisterous and everything else. If you look at Day of the Daleks, I remember seeing that. I think, wait, what? Why is he like that? Why is he characterized like that? It's like John Benton. Sergeant Benton, I love. He's a brilliant character. John Levine's excellent. He is. Same with Nick Corney. Richard Franklin I have a tough time with as Mike Yates. Really, I think that scene is like he's very forceful. Yeah. Oh, Joe, how nice of you. It's like like she was offering to Benson, of course. Everything else, one-on-one sacrilege. Yes, yes. Oh, I know. I think that really pulled me off with Yates. Really, yeah, he appears up now and again. Obviously, what they did with his character in Adventure of the Dinosaurs. Really, it's like that's a bit of a left turn, isn't it? Really, but I don't know. And the thing is, he shoes off Benton, like he tries to get rid of him, and then helps himself to cheese and wine, of course, which the Doctor and Joe are in the house for, really, house sitting. Oh my god, it's not. No, I think of the bloody name of the controller, or Aubrey Woods. That's it. He was the store owner in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And that came after. I always thought. I think I discussed this on one of the live streams. If you want to, we know what the sequel is to Willy Wonka and the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's Day of the Daleks. That's the sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Show on TV first, absolutely. I can see what you were coming from, but I still love Pertwee. That's true. If you love it, if you love John Pertwee, that's absolutely fine. I think as a character, yes, he's good. He's good looking, fantastic, fabulous actor, absolutely. It's just with the stories, I can understand why. There's not much variety really, and some of the character choices are a bit odd, really. You know, you don't see much of like what you expect from Doctor Who until his back end of his era. You know, like with Carnival of Monsters, Frontier in Space, The Path of Daleks, Time Warrior, Death of the Daleks, Monster of Peladon, really. You know, yeah. But yeah, it's supposed to be a shock face. That's all right. Okay. I always see, yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, with the hands and the mouth and the eyes. I can see it. I can totally see it now. I didn't know a voice like 101. It's like, you know, like, you know, 101 sacrilege. I don't know. Who knows? So that's Pertwee. He's at number 11, he is, unfortunately. And number 10 is Peter Davidson. I think I mentioned before with him, obviously, he's a bit bland, a bit, you know. I think with him, really, he was meant to more be less alien, a bit more human, really, in a way. A bit more gentle, vulnerable type thing, really. Yeah, William Wonka came out in 71, did I came out in 72, yeah. So it is true. Willy Wonka is canon in the Doctor Who universe, it is. And Day of the Daleks is its sequel, of course. Secretly written by Roald Dahl. You know, who knows? I wonder if that's been approved. You know, imagine reissuing that. Actually, you know, you can probably put the Day of the Daleks novelization, Willy Wonka, you know, trying the Chocolate Factory or something. I don't know. No, that'd be too weird. No, the novelization of the film by someone, and put the novelization of Day of the Daleks afterwards. You know, that'd be funny. Imagine doing that, misleading someone like that. You know. Forget Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. Day of the Daleks is the proper sequel. It is. Aubrey Woods, yes, he plays the control in that one. You know, who knew? Who knew the store run who's selling Wonka bars was in League of the Daleks in the far future? He'll be like cryogenically frozen like Walt Disney and ends up in the future. You know, that's probably what happened. That'd be weird. You know, I don't know if I hope no one else is watching this live stream and actually picking this up. It's like good story idea. Well, you know, someone from Big Finish is doing that. Oh God. It's always see old sitcom actors pop up from time to time in classic Who. Yeah, I know. John Cleese in City of Death. That is one. Who else? Peter Sallis in Ice Warriors. He's in that. Apparently, he's in there. He plays a Webley, I think his character's called. I didn't know that. You know, he would have been a good Doctor actually, Peter Sallis. You know, that would have been interesting. You know, if they carried on after 1989, you know, like that'd be something interesting. You know, he can probably do that alongside Lester Some Wine or something. He would have made like another Charlton McCoyish Doctor in a way. You know, carried all that, you know, grief and, you know, authority with him, while having that gentler, you know, twinkle in his eye as well. You know, that would have been interesting. You know, do a bit of buffoonery, like sort of like doddering, maybe a bit, made me think he's confused a lot. Really, that would have been interesting actually. I've always pictured that with Pierce Sallis in a way. You know, picture him like in you know, I don't know. Fulton McKay appeared in Doctor Who and Stallone. It's not playing a policeman. Really, he plays a scientist or something like that, or some person who's climbed down caves, you know, and has been killed in the first episode. Who knows? That's hilarious. So 10, I put Peter Davison. Obviously, I mentioned before with him. Really, number 9 is William Hartnell. I put Hartnell at number 9. I did. I think he's good. He's a decent actor. He is. I mean, I see him in Carrying On Sergeant and something else, really, I think. You know, but I think with him, obviously it's early days. He's the first one, actually. And I think some of us do have them have popped up as well. They probably do, actually. I'm trying to think who else has. Martin Clunes has. I know what he has in Snake Dance. Obviously, worked in sitcom and drama most of the time, anyway. Who else? Who else? Ken Dodd, Delta the Madman. Well, he's a stand-up comedian, he is. Who else? Oh, God. Oh, Chris Ryan. Christopher Ryan in Mind Warp. He's in there. He's, you know, playing Mike and Young Ones. Plays Kiv. Yeah, he's in that. Yeah. Yeah, folks, I forgot Bill Hannah, could I? Oh, it's just one of those things, you know. I nearly forgot him as well, actually, to be honest. You know, it's like, 13. Oh, wait, Harnell's not here. Oh, God. Where am I going to put him? It's like, let's open him there. So, Harnell, yeah, he's good. I mean, he's a good actor. Obviously, with him, there's production stuff, of course, with his behaviour and whatnot, and health issues, really, aside, really. But I think, like, he has that authoritative stance to him, really, of course. So you put him just in between Tom Baker and Peter Davison. Okay. A little bit at the bottom, but I can understand why, really. So that's all right. Yeah, I put him a little bit lower. He's not on the bottom. That's a good thing. He's somewhere in the middle, he is. He's middle tier, he is. But pretty good. Pretty good stuff, actually, for him. I think for his first half, he's very authoritative, grouchy in control, he is, really. And as he progresses, he becomes more softer, he does. He meets people like Vicky, Dodo, Katerina, and Ben and Polly, of course. He does have respect for them, like he means well to them, of course. It's like he cares for them. Like with Vicky, you can see that with very much. And I think like she so respects him, but he also cares for her as well. Like he shows his caring side in a way, really. It's like also I think of him and Polly in 10th Planet. Like he's like some like comfortable, like still for to grandfather, but he still cares for them, of course. Like in 10th Planet, when they try and get warmed up and everything else. Get your coat on, darling. Yeah, come on, darling. I'll meet you outside and everything else. That type of thing. So he softens later down the line. He does really. He sort of softens. He does, and he becomes a bit more relaxed in a way. Still has his positive edge to him, really, but you see the twinkle, you see the humour side of him as well. It's like you have it in the Romans, of course. You see the humour come out of him as well, like the enjoyment. Like he's, Harnell's having a little this. I think the first thought himself, like once you get Susan out of the picture, he becomes more relaxed in a way. Like I don't know what's with that. Yeah, honestly, Han should be higher in my ranking, but there are others I prefer. That's true. There are other ones that I prefer as well, Lewis. Obviously I much prefer Harner's second half, really. From I think when I'll probably say, oh God, I think from the rescue onwards, I'd probably say he's better. I would say from Unearthly Child to Dark Invasion of Earth, he has that sort of authoritative, type, sternness to him, really, in a way. Like like he stands high and very much tell, and it's not like a full. It's like someone doesn't take someone's shit, really, in a way. But he relaxes very much and basically becomes more humor. He has some more humor in the latter half. He does, Still has the edge, but he mixes up. He does, and that's all what I like about his Doctor, in a way. So after Harnell is Jodie Whittaker, who's the current and soon be going Doctor next year anyway. Whittaker, she brings a lot of positivity. She does. She brings there's a lot of optimism with her, really, in a way. There's that sort of like a wondrous child. I think she describes it as. When I started watching Loose Cannon Recons, I really grew on his era. That is true. Yeah. I mean, you look at really. I think that's you look at that, you think there's actually some really good stuff in there. There is really good stuff. Indeed, brilliant stories, brilliant monsters, everything else. They've done character options, did the censor rights and the Vord figures. It's that. We've got some more 60 figures now. We've got some more people go to your local B&M. Oh look, there's a Vord figure set. It's like, wait, what? A Keys and Meredith set? Fucking hell. It's like people in the 60s probably like, what the fuck is that? Wait, what? Why did we get that back in the day? They'd probably be angry and trying, think like, well, fuck this, I'm gonna buy it anyway, or censor rights and everything else. I see that in B&M a lot. You get a lot of good sets. You see this sometimes with Harry Sullivan. You get the 2 Doctor set, and you get Blade TARDIS set as well. With I think it's like the Kazan Van Design set or something, or Sharda set. Christ, I never bothered with figures for many years, a long time, really. Probably since like 2010, I stopped collecting figures. I did. Couldn't be bothered. I was going like a teenager at that point. I was getting old, rebel, that type of thing. It's like, no, fuck this, that type of thing, really. So I think Whittaker actually brings. I think it's with Whittaker. I'm probably in the middle, really. There was some good stuff with her, of course. I think series 12, she ups the game. She does. Series 11, that's more doing Bradley Walsh and Cole's spotlight, really. Focus on them two, really, their dynamic, and also them grieving over whatever, really, their grandmother. Sorry if I've spoiled season 11 for you if you haven't seen it yet. It probably won't be a surprise, really, you know. But I think series 12, she offers more. She's got more depth, and with this whole time as child stuff, you know, it sort of gives her a bit more interesting stuff to do. Really, you know, it gives her more interesting aspects. Like she can be, maybe angry at some points, of course. Like, you know, you lied to me. You know, you did this. You know, like, you know, and you see this in Haunted Villa Diodati very much, and you see her desperate and also angry. It's like, you know, with all this stuff, like, you know, I can't let you die here. You know, I can't let anyone die here tonight and everything else. You know, that'll be another ground of grief and burden on me or something like that. And she really nails it. She does, just like that. You know, and I think this series coming, series 13, the 6-part series that's coming, it'll probably give a lot more. I do. I have a few figures, mostly as birthday presents. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get, well, I used to get a lot of stuff when Russell T Davies was around, really. I mean, you know, the Alex Tennant period was peak collecting stuff, really. Tally set, whatever, good stuff. I only have one classic figure from Rage from about 2009, which was a Zygon figure. I still got that nice Zygon figure. I think it's Broton, it is. I think it's made Broton, I think. And the last thing I ever bought was like the 11 Doctor set. So like all the figures from Hartnell to Smith at the point. So the first 11 actors, you know, having like Paul McGann as a figure, 6th Doctor, John Pertwee, Patrick Charlton as a figure. That's lovely. That's fabulous. You know, and have like an actual 9th Doctor instead of the disco dance, you know, like a lunge. That I hate that figure. But the one I've got now, the 11th Doctor, is brilliant. You know. That's a decent body coat, so that's brilliant. So it's a decent standing 9th Doctor, which is good. Give me a few minutes, I'm booting up, of course. No problem, mate. I'll just, you know, I think we're just halfway through, so we've done the first 7 already. So just got to do the last 7, which is going to be interesting. Just thinking, really. That'll be interesting. I think probably mentioned it, of course, when we get there. You back, sir? Right, so we'll finish off this like top thing ranking anyway. Also, you show your ranking. I'll need to do the last 7 of mine anyway. So let's do this. So number 7 is Tom Baker. Tom Baker is at number 7. It's tough, really, with these other ones, really. But I decided to put Tom Baker at number 7, really. I think because obviously you mentioned before, is the second half of Zero sort of dips. It does. But there are some good stories there. There are some brilliant stories there. But also, Tom Baker had a more of a creative role in very much the last half season. It's like, I think with Hinchcliffe and Holmes, they had a strong, clear idea of what they wanted to do with the Fourth Doctor in, season 12, 13, 14. I just thought, do you think Malcolm McDowell will make a good Doctor? I don't know. I never thought Malcolm McDowell was a Doctor, really. I don't know. Maybe. I used to remember there was maybe. I think he would actually. Yeah, he might do actually. Yeah, that'd be a good idea actually. Rather than play a villainous role, make him. That'd be an interesting little sea change to his career. Yeah, that'd be good. I wonder if they could still do it with Big Finish. Probably maybe by a few. Hire some people like yourself, or some write a story with Malcolm McDowell in mind. That'd be pretty good. I mean, they got David Warner as a Doctor anyway, so that'd be interesting. What else they have? Maybe a few people. I mean, Warner's an established British actor, very much has done all sorts, really. But him as a Doctor is kind of an interesting thing, really. I think how he originates is from the Unbound stuff, because he did Sympathy of the Devil and Masters of War. He did. That was to do with him and Nicholas Courtney, about the Doctor being exiled. Well, in the 70s, he's exiled in the 1990s in Hong Kong, I think. He meets a brigadier who's in the bar, who runs a bar like on the seafront, apparently. And you get introduced to Colonel Brillican Wood, who's played by David Tennant, who's basically the foul-mouthed replacement of the brigadier. And you basically got him as being like profanity and whatnot, and everything else. Really, my screwdriver, my little droogies. Oh, that'll be something. Imagine if they'll probably do that and do references to his career. Really, they could probably do that. Oh my god, he'll be really good. It'd probably be interesting to show what he can do, really. In terms of like if he was a Doctor, what kind of, he'd probably be like stern, heartless. Could be, who knows? What's this? I just got some little update from FaceApp or something like that. Like change your whatever. Babyface. It's filters on now, so there we go. But that'll be interesting. I can showcase some I've seen actually done by Deviant Art, and they're fantastic. And I probably think they'll be ideal. But let's go through these more. Of course, obviously I'm again sidetracked. Again, obviously Malcolm McDowell, brilliant choice, absolutely. Tom Baker. I think with the latter half season, I think he had more creative control. Like he was sort of manipulating probably Graham Williams or whatever. Like he was sort of like the safe pair of hands, but a bit. He let Tom Baker do what he wanted. you know, in season 15, 16, 17, really, you know, obviously Douglas Adams came on board and played strength to the comic strengths, really. But I think Baker had a more creative role. I think because he knew what he wanted Doctor Who to be, really. And then John left Turner come on and like, no, Tom, you know, you can fuck off and, you know, still play the Doctor for this one season, but you know, it's like, you know, I'm in control. I do want, you know, me and Chris, maybe I'm going to do this, you know, stop interfering. Do as you're told, really, that type of thing, I think. But there are some cracking stories, of course, in his era, you know, whether in Hinch Lefebvre, Graham's Rhythm, and his final series, there are some good stories in there. Number 6, Christopher Eccleston. Really good. Brilliant actor, of course. I mean, Chris Eccleston's a very good actor in general, he is. There's something about him, though. There's something really, you know, I mean, he's had quite a lot, actually. If you look at the news, stuff like that, you know, he's suffered quite a bit, of course, over time. He suffered anorexia back at the time, really. I think back in 2000 he suffered anorexia. He's had, like, a very turbulent type of life, really, but he means well. There's something about Eccleston. He carries, like, you know, again, there's like a damaged man, like a tortured soul in him. Like, you sort of feel like that, you know, but he means well. He carries on as like a trooper. It's like he progresses, he does. He carries on doing everything. There's something about it, you know, something about it there is. And he sort of replicates himself with the Ninth Doctor, of course, who's been, you know, again, with Series 1, of course, it's just that one arc, you know. Again, it's the only time that's ever happened, really. Like, you know, you start from the Doctor being mysterious and lonely and everything else, and then comes at the end, he becomes more open, he becomes more, you know, like he becomes, I don't know, relevant or whatnot. Like, it's something like that. He's always shell, really, once Rose brings him forward, of course. Like, it takes him to like different situations, really. You know, but it's one of those things, really. But it's a really good performance. He carries the weight. Again, tortured soul element, of course. Like, he's like the one after the Time War, everything else, and he basically, you know, it carries it. It does. He's a really good actor. I've seen him in other stuff as well, like in, I mean, Cracker. He's brilliant in that. You know, really good. I mean, if you put Chris Eccleston in a film or something like that, you know he's going to be good. You know he's going to be brilliant. You know, it's like Peter Capaldi, of course, when I get to him, really. So, or any of these actors on here, you know, if you put them in anything else, you'll probably be good, or some for the worse, I don't know. Well, you know, there's going to be something interesting with them, really. You're thinking, oh, that's going to be good. See what this actor brings up board, really. So there we go. Number 5, Patrick Troughton. Your number 1, my number 5, really. I think with Troughton, he's really good. Fantastic actor. Really brilliant. I first saw him in The Omen, funny enough, playing that priest who gets impaled with a rod and he's, you know, through him or something like that outside of church. He's really good, really good. He captures something, of course. He captures the mischievousness of him, really, of course, and he carries that serious undertone. You know, there's always this is comic edge he brings to it, of course. You know, and obviously, it's like a shabby beetle in a way, because apparently that's that was like that happy accident apparently involving. They wanted him to be like wearing a turban or something apparently, when they were sort of discussing his image, and I think it's Annika Wills who plays Polly just messes his hair up, and obviously, you know, there we go, and he just, you know, puts on like this, you know, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin outfit or something, like with, you know, checkered trousers, shabby black jacket on, and bow tie whatever, and boom, you got Second Doctor. You know, really good, love good stuff. Him and Hines, brilliant. There's a brilliant chemistry with him and Fraser Hines. Brilliant stuff. I mean, the actresses play second fiddle to that, like Deborah Watler and Wendy Padbury. Yeah, they have some moments to shine, really, but it's Troughton and Hines who drive that era of Doctor Who. There is. There needs to be a fan edit of The Omen where Jamie Victoria or Zoe will grow from the TARDIS. Like we'll see in the TARDIS Doctor, of course, and the Doctor gets impaled. That should be in the War Games. They should do it in the War Games, actually. Like, rather than be exiled to Earth, he was being impaled with a spear or something like that, you know. That'll be something. That sort of seems relevant, does. Like, he'll be in I don't know if there's a scene in the War Games, like he's on a battlefield, something like involving chariots or whatever. You know, it's like, you know, he'll say, quick run or something like that, and his companions flee, he's sort of left behind. And then you cut to some footage from the Omen, like he's like, you know, like someone throws a spear or something, and he gets him, of course, like he screams, never moves, screams in the air. It's like, you know, Kah! You know, and when the spear lands on him, she's like, or the sounds Janie or something like, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, that is hilarious. I don't think that no one's ever attempted that before. I don't know. It's like someone did like a funny one, like an edit, like what do you call it? Who was it? Demi Lumen. She did a version of like the third Doctor's generation sequence, and it's a scene taken out of a story called Confessions of a Private Eye, British sex comedy. Poe is in it, and apparently the regeneration scene, of course, like it's him lying down, and the main character of the film trips over a wire of an electric fan, and he falls on his dick, and he just like Poe pulls his funny face like it's pure torture. I think I might show it actually. Oh my god, it's hilarious. It is. I might show you. It's like an alternative version of the regeneration. Oh my god, it's hilarious. It's short, but my god, it's funny. I'm not gonna find out. Where are they at? That's not it. There it is. Here it is. Oh, let me show you. Oh. Yeah. Oh, you knew about it as well, yeah. The Doctor's knob or Doctor's dick, Philip Morris. Yeah. Oh, nice. Right. Yeah, that clip will never not be fun. Yeah. It is actually hilarious. I'm surprised they used a film like that, really. I'm surprised actually probably did a film like that at all, really. But there we go. Oh my god, it's funny. So yeah, that's good. Charlton, he's a number 5, of course. Number 4 is Pierre Capaldi, underrated. I think he's the Doctor who's been the most unutilized in the modern series. Like Colin Baker, he was never utilized as much, really. I love his Doctor. I mean, Capaldi's a fucking brilliant actor. I describe him as an earworm actor. He's really good. If you put him in all sorts of television or film work, he's going to be good. Even when he's in the 80s, 90s, whatever, you feel like, oh wait, hang on, he's in this, isn't he? Wait, what? It's like actually it's going to be pretty good actually. When you look at it, it's like you watch something like Midsummer Murders and he pops up in one episode. It's like, oh, okay, and he appears in almost everything. Minder, bloody hell. I mean, he appears in all sorts of this. You think like he's a recognizable face. He is Capaldi, more so than all these other actors, really. I mean, I can think of Tom Baker in Remington Steele alongside Pierce Brosnan. That's a pretty good episode, really, involving Tom Baker trying to stalk an old lady or something, and steals a dog or something. I don't know. Has a little fist fight with Pierce Brosnan. That's something. One of Tom Baker was still the Doctor in the 80s, and Pierce Brosnan was the Master. I don't know. Oh god, that'd be too weird. Who knows? But Capaldi, really good. I'd probably say Series 10 is the best one out of his bunch. I mean, Series 8's got some good stuff in it as well. Series 9, I rank as the worst. I think in terms of new series, that's the worst series ever. I think. I mentioned with Curse of Failed Death before. They used that in Magician in Person, which is familiar. The opening 2-parter in Series 9. I hate that. That 2-part's horrible. Ugh. It's a slow burn in the episode 1, and then Series 2 is full of dumb, stupid shit, really. Davros opened his eyes and everything else. The whole thing about the Dalek sewer system, like basically Davros gets his plan. His plan ends up in shit, really, literal shit. I'm not making, the Daleks get taken out by living shit. What? that just stupid. Underlay Before the Flood's the best thing in there. Controversial opinion, I don't like Heaven Sent. I don't. Heaven Sent, it screams Sherlock. It's fucking screams Sherlock. You can put Benedict Cumberbatch in that story than Capaldi. As much as I love Capaldi, he's brilliant, and actually, for someone that holds the episode, looking back on it, it just, you can make that into an episode of Sherlock, really. If you replace Capaldi with Cumberbatch, won't tell the difference. It's that obvious. And actually, that story originates as a Big Finish proposal, believe it or not. Moffat, at the beginning of Big Finish, he was one of the original writers who actually came and went to this meeting, of course, but he bowed out, really. It's like, they were using old doctors. He wanted to start fresh, it'd be like a new doctor, like a totally new doctor, and they were taking a different direction, of course, and he thought that was brilliant. But it was just to do with casting notes like Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy. At the time, it's like, no, I don't do it. But he had a pitch, which became Heaven Sent. That actually originated as a Big Finish story first, funny enough. So I'm surprised no one's ever noticed that, really. But there we go. So Capaldi, just a really good actor, really. Really good idea for the Doctor. I like an old doctor, like older doctor, really, after Terence Smith, really. And we got that, and it was brilliant. It's just his ear is all over the place, really all over the place, and I really can't, Series 9, I hate, really. Series 8, I'll probably say is good, because he's darker in that one. He really emulates the darkness, of course. Like, again, someone who takes no shit from anyone. It's like, Into the Dalek, Robert Sherwood. It's like with Robin Hood laughing in the Doctor's face, being all like, being like a sort of like a douchebag kind of type thing. It's like, has everyone ever punched you in the face, like in a charming way, in his charming way? It's like, getting like a quip. It's like, doing like a stick burn or something like that. He gets that sometimes in some stories, and like, again, I get into a dark sort of like another relevant thing, really. It's like, Ross is here, top lane. Any final requests, anything else, he does that really in those stories. It's like very sarcasm. There's a lot of sarcasm in that in Series 8, really, with him, really. But he nails it, absolutely. And that series 10 sort of amalgamation of the two, really, but he flows nicely. You've got the curmudgeon, strict, darker side to him, but you have that sort of light side as well. Not the cosmic bonkers uncle, really. You get little bits of that in Series 10, but not as much. It's not fully constant in Series 9, thank God, which is true. But yes, but he's just a good actor. Also, the Doctors wear a hoodie as well, like an actual zip hoodie as well. That's a lot of people complain about that. I think like it's something different. It's something interesting. Like a Doctor wears a hoodie throughout most of his tenure. I think in Series 9 and 10 he wears a hoodie. He does. Series 8 he has that clean cut. He's very clean cut. It's very style, very sort of proper. Really, just like crummy coat, shirt, waistcoat now and again, or cardigan or something. Standard black trousers, Doc Martin boots, whatever. And afterwards you get like golf trousers, hoodies, and patterned shirts. With flowers on, misty mountains, space shark, an electric guitar to boot with it. Sonic sunglasses. Ugh, fucking Christ. But he's a really good actor. I'd put him at number 4. He's the best New Who Doctor I've ever actually, really enjoyed. He's just a good actor, and he suited the Doctor now too. It's just that, it's like you got a good actor, but the material's not there, and he's basically, done some good stuff, but he's badly utilised, really. Number 3, Paul McGann. Paul McGann. I put him as number 3 because I've been really getting to the non-television stuff. I mean, Big Finish, of course. I'd probably say Big Finish is the best idea to go for McGann, really. The novels I struggle with, really, in a way. Yeah, they can give some good ones, like Vampire Science and Alien Bodies is another good example. There are some really good gems in there. Scarlet Empress, Camera Obscura, some of the Earth stuff, Father Time, maybe. There was some really good stuff with the Eighth Doctor. How they the thing was, how are you going to take on a Doctor like that if you only appeared in the TV movie? And that was a struggle for the writers, most of the, like newcomer writers, basically people who were Virgin beforehand, like Paul Cornell, Terrence Dicks, who else? Lance Parkin, whatever. And you got like people like horror writers like Mark Morris, he's a proper horror writer and ends up writing for Doctor Who, ends up writing a Zygon story with just Lightfoot and just George Lightfoot, no Henry, no Jago's not in it. Weirdly, you've got an older version of Joe Grant. You've got Davros as well on Skaro in one of the stories with Fowls and Spider Daleks and Shark Daleks. What the hell? You've got the whole thing with I don't think that's Faction Paradox, Time Voodoo Cult. That's complicated as fuck. That is. It spreads up with different stories. The Doctor loses his TARDIS and ends up this enemy's companion becomes a TARDIS. In which, strangely, someone called Compassion, who's a woman. Based on some woman, she was part of the Faction Paradox and becomes a TARDIS. You got a good companion in Fitz Kreiner, who's basically like Jamie. He's basically like the Jamie Crimmins of the novels. First appears in The Taint, which is the 19th novel, and stays on till the very end. He does well after the Doctor gets. You got solo adventures of the 8th Doctor involving going through periods of history. He's recovered from amnesia, and then meets Fitz, then comes all the way to the very end. So he stays on the end really. They only did it with Fitz once in Big Finish with a guy called Matt D'Angelo who played someone called, what's his name? Well, yeah, it's from EastEnders. Who's basically played in EastEnders before and ends up, does a actually pretty good performance. A lot of people suggest there's some guy called Callum Bloom as Fitz, which actually might seem a very interesting choice, really. So looks apart, it looks like Fitz, really. A lot of people thought James McAvoy as Fitz, really. If you think, if they try and make Fitz into in like audio or television or something like that, you probably think, maybe something like James McAvoy be a companion to Paul McGann. I don't know if that'll be interesting. I don't know. Sam Jones, there was some strange stuff with that companion, indeed, with the whole Dark Sam stuff. Like she's like this 17-year-old blonde girl, schoolgirl, who's a vegetarian, never takes drugs and only, don't know, but then somehow there's a schism apparently, and you see a vision of her, like an alternative vision of her, like black hair, drug addict type girl, really. I don't know. It's just weird. And also there's a way more Doctor story as well included in interference with Pertwee, and the whole thing about with him, with something with Faction Paradox, the Doctor actually not regenerating after Mavis, really, he gets shot on a planet called Dust, apparently, and ends up altering the timeline or something like that. It's weird as fuck. It is. That's Lawrence Miles for you. He's a bit of a controversial character, a writer, really. I don't know. It seems strange. And also, the Doctor blows up Gallifrey in that's SSL. Rather than, and you can gather some in, you can see like, you confuse like, wait, what? The F Doctor blew up Gallifrey because the whole Faction Paradox thing. That's the reason why. Also, his TARDIS became like a bone-like structure or something. It came to like the edifice or something. It's weird. It's bloody weird. The stuff that the novels did, it's confused as fuck. But I think Big Finish is more the obvious. It's more simplistic. You got some good adventures. You got some decent, brilliant stories. You got India Fisher, Charlotte Pollard, good companion. Kerry's, I can't really comment on Kerry's really. I've only, I've only indulged in the first 2 series of Big Finish with the 8th Doctor. Lucy Miller's decent. Sheridan Smith's pretty decent. For what I've listened of her. And then got Dark Eyes. I think with the box sets, that's a bit of an issue, really. Dark Eyes, something, Doom Coalition, I think is weaker. Ravenous. It seems to be going on a lot, really. Because you got Dark Eyes, Doom Coalition, Ravenous, Stranded. Then you got the Time Lost stuff. Then you've got Diary of a River Song. That sort of thing. Really, it's just going on and on. Christ. And the early stuff, like the monthly range, and the stuff with Lucy Miller. Really good stuff, actually. That's if you're into Big Finish, of course. The whole thing with McGann and Lucy is interesting because it's only those episodes only run for about 45 minutes. So like new Who stories, really. Short and snappy stories. You have like I think it's 8 in a set in a series. You have like 6 standalone stories. They're 2 parts of to end the series. quite interesting actually. They do bring back some old monsters as well, like in oh god, let me think. Daleks in the first one. In series 1, it's the Daleks. Then there's oh god, Cybermen in the finale, Human Resources. Actually, no, but episodes 1 and 2 are 2 parts. They open up really, and closes up with 2 parts. That's the only instance with that series really. You do get guest characters as well, actually, and stuff like that. You know, Kenneth Grenham. Nigel Havers is in one as well. Nigel Havers. Bernard Cribbins is in the second one. Second story, Horror of Glenbrook. Nigel Planer is in Hot House. Did the Crinoid. He's in a story to do with crinoids in that one. So like a sequel to Caesar Doom. Yeah, I forgot about Crinoid's in that one. I think that's in the third series. That is. Then you got something like the Wirren back in one in series 3. Morbius is back in 2-part story. He is. Series 2. Autons are in 1. That's in Brave New Town, which is actually a good story, actually. What else? The 8 Legs, Giant Spiders, Man Base 3, they appear as well in Series 3. I think, no, yeah, Series 3, they appear in. Yeah, Series 3 they appear in, yes, they do. They got a lot. There's a lot of decent guest characters as well. Of course, Christopher Fairbanks in one in the Scapegoat, involving people like we do like Nazi snuff films with goat-headed people. Weird, strange. But yet, McGann's all over the place with media. Is the one, you know. But I prefer Big Finish. You know, McGann and Big Finish is interesting, really. Novels has a complicated bag that is, you know, but there's some good stuff in there. So he's a number 3. I do love him. TV movie, he's the best thing about it. He is. Now the Doctor, I always prefer him in his TV movie outfit. I always look at McGann. That's the Doctor. People look at, you know, you see promotional art, so you look at him in his line, the Doctor. I can't see that. I don't mean the point. Really. I prefer him in his elegant Victorian-esque look, really, with his $1,000 wig on. I prefer that, really, you know. And his TARDIS as well. It's fucking fantastic. Ray Jules Verne look as well. Wonderful. So in number 2, Colin Baker is at number 2. Underrated Doctor. I love his Doctor. He's one of my favourites. He is. You know, I do like the idea that he's multi-personality. He's mixed. He could be funny. He could be charming. He could be a bit of a diva. The only things I've seen of the TV movie in the Flash version of Sharda. Yes, the Big Finish version of Sharda. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that's included on the 2013 DVD, isn't it? That they put on, didn't they? I think some other versions as well, I think. But yeah, I remember seeing that many years ago. Yeah, but he is good. He's really good. A very interesting actor as well, I have to admit. You know, yeah, but he's good in the TV movie. So Colin Baker, Sixth Doctor is number 2 for me. I love his Doctor. You know, sick personality aside, really, he carries. He goes a lot. There's a lot of gusto and presence with his Doctor, and it's really good. It's fantastic. Years on 2013 DVD. Yeah, just a really good actor. You know, apart from his costume, I like his costume. It's bold. It's interesting. It's colourful. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck what he does when he wears it. Of course, it's like he shows off, or he has a arrogant. You know, a very good, powerful arrogance. Like he's intelligent. He knows what he's doing. Type thing. You know, really good. You know, and I mean that's just TV stuff really. Big Finish, he's good. There's one I listened to called Project Twilight. He's actually pretty good on that. Really good. That's one of my favourite 6 Doctor ones. That is. Him and Maggie Stables with Evelyn Smythe. And also, Evelyn Smythe is, you know, like someone in the 50s, 60s, like a semi-retired English professor as a companion to the 6th Doctor. Keeps her at bay, like, you know. It works. It's brilliant. The chemistry between Colin Baker and Maggie Stables, it's fucking brilliant. There's some really good stories. A lot of historical stories as well included. You know, you have some interesting ones like Spectre of Lanyon Moore with Nicholas Corney returns the Big Lear in that story, and then you got Project Twilight that involves vampires. That does. I do love that. There's a good scene I always love. It's like, you know, it's even question the Doctor's places to go, really. You know, of all the places you can take me to have a decent feast or decent food, you know, to a nice, wonderful planet or somewhere back in history, whatever, you take me to, you know, this Chinese restaurant in Southeast London in 1999. or something, but called the slow boat. That's what it is. It's like, well, they do a good crispy duck there. It's like, so there's some good moments. Brilliant. Project Twilight I really enjoy actually. There's more. There's some good moments like he's trying to resuscitate a man who's bleeding to death, but actually ends up exploding with fire at the end. Like he tries to save like he tries to resuscitate a man actually, and ends up being locked in a filing cabinet by vampires. It's like, you can't escape, Doctor. We're going to dump you in this bloody filing cabinet and you can't escape. Well, he hasn't got so much screwdriver, so that's one thing. So there's some interesting stuff there is. My God. Again, really good actor, brilliant. Still doing it well. Still doing well. I've always listened to stuff on the first monthly range, like the first 50 on Spotify, really. But really good stuff. Fantastic. I've got some novels. I've got 2 novels with him as well. Actually 3, actually, to be honest. Time of Your Life and Killing Ground. Like after Trial of the Time Lord, after the Ultimate Foe, he drops off the future version of Mel, and apparently he's trying not to become the Valiant. He's trying some of the novels, he tries to avoid meeting Mel Bush, apparently, Melanie or Mel, and think, he tries to avoid her very much, it's a really complicated thing actually. Like the whole thing, like he's trying, he doesn't want to become the Valiant, like what he become really, or anything else. That's a running thing in the novels apparently. Like he's trying to avoid a companion that he dropped off, which is the future version of Mel at the end of Trial of the Time Lord. And the Mel that we see and know is the present Mel that he travels with. Apparently, it's a complicated thing that they did in the novels. They did. It's like the continuity of that thing. So the version you see in Ultimate Foe is the future version of Mel. Like she left the Doctor whenever, of course, and she gets reunited with him, the 6th Doctor, in his trial, and then she drops him off. She drops her off at some point, and then as the novels progress, you see that thing really, like he becomes a hermit in time of your life. He does, and tries to live on this like bloody planet that's like future, like somehow 2000 AD, like futuristic Tokyo or something, like New Tokyo or something. Where television dominates everything. It's like something like a Running Man or something. Television dominates the whole thing really. Everyone's watching like reality TV that everyone kills each other on live television. He ends up in that world really. Textile Corporation. He does get a few companions here and there in between. Like I think his first one is someone called Angela, but she ends up being killed by an android in that story as well. Like you probably think like, oh, Angela might be his new companion, this girl he meets in New Tokyo, but she ends up being killed. She ends up being mutilated or something. And he gets his computer, and later in the story, he gets a guy called Graham Markham, who's like a ginger-haired, brown specs, pure programmer. I reckon the Vanguard was based on Michael Craig. I reckon the Vanguard was based on. It could have been actually, yeah. That might have been. There must be some history. There might, if some people speak to Eric Sable about that, they probably think, was he even based on Michael Gray or something? Probably. You can probably superimpose his face or use that thing. You like change people's faces. You put Michael Gray's face on the Vanguard's face. That'll be fucking interesting. That'll be bloody interesting. Get superimpose his face over Michael Jason's face. That'd be funny. Oh, that'll be funny. So yeah. So that's one thing. Trying to become not the Vanguard. He does end up with Mel in a novel called Business Unusual. Apparently, Mel originates from Brighton from 1989. She lives in a house. The thing with that was interesting. I think I mentioned this before. I don't know, but the Doctor helps this poor fella. And apparently, he lives in this house in Brighton that's owned by Mel's family. So you can introduce him to her family, and so he ends up meeting Mel Bush. Like the first time you ever see Mel, it's an introduction story. He meets Mel. That that is what deepfakes were made for. Absolutely, it's like, oh god, do you remember that? There was one I remember seeing. Was it Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland, Back to the Future? Downey Jr. is Christopher Lloyd and Tom Holland's Michael J. Fox. Oh, that was weird. That was strange but funny. Oh god, I hope they never do that. Actually, remake Back to the Future with Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland. God, again, I hope some executives are not watching this, or someone you think like who probably works for Universal or something like that, or Disney or something. You know, it's like, you know, ooh, that'll be a good idea. Like, no. So yeah, so Colin Baker, Mel gets introduced in Some Good Business Unusual. She doesn't join. He doesn't want to join Mel, but she ends up barging her way through and say like, "Well, I'm going to travel with you." He sort of gives into that actually. So he end up traveling with each other, and he ends up regenerating, of course, into Sylvester McCoy, which transitions lovely to my number one pick. Sylvester McCoy is my favorite Doctor, really. McCoy captures something. He does. He captures the Dark Race, the Master Manipulator. Really good stuff. You know, I actually don't mind season 24. I think its era is really good. You know, there are some duds really. I'd probably say Dragonfire is weak. Silver Nemesis is weak. I think that's about it really. Time and Ronnie, take or leave it. But I like Paradise Towers and Delta and the Bannerman. I think they're good stories they are. Season 24. I really enjoyed those. You know, but everything else is top tier stuff. You know, good storytelling, good Doctor, brilliant companion with Ace. Mel, give or take her really. You know, there's some decent moments with her really, but it's mainly Ace that takes the spotlight. But really good stuff. You know, but for me, the thing that really saw McCoy as my favorite Doctor is when I read the Virgin books, the Virgin novels in the 90s, and I truly got his Doctor. I remember reading the first one, which was Just War, Balance Parkin. Brilliant story. They captured the Doctor really fantastically. You know, authors who probably knew about McCoy, of course. Some people didn't. Terence Dixon knew about McCoy really, and he did like a standard version of the Doctor, pulled some elements in really. The only thing he only got off McCoy was the Curse of Fenric. Someone gave him the Curse of Fenric on video, and so try and use that. Actually, try and use this terror and see where you try and capture the McCoy's Doctor. He tried, but he never got that really. It's John Peel, not John Peel the DJ. That'd be a weird thing. John Peel is a writer who's written for the Target organizations. He has his partnership with Terry Nation. You know, he did on his novelization, the remaining novelizations he did. So he had an in with Terry Nation, like his Golden Boys, like his Devil's Advocate or something like that. Like like he's the man who's going to bring the Daleks back to in a big way, in the big books, everything else, make Nation proud, of course, retcon everything else, retcon remembers the Daleks, and oh no, it wasn't Scarborough that was destroyed. It was a planet called Talon or something. And it's like, Doctor, you fooled. You killed this planet filled with innocent people. You never killed Scarborough. You never killed the Daleks. You just killed this random planet. We used a decoy. We screwed you over, Doctor. That type of thing. That's what they did involve the Daleks actually in the Eighth Doctor really, but that was actually a TV story for the Seventh Doctor to begin with. Actually, funny enough. But McCoy's Doctor, I think people who probably got it the best were like Paul Cornell, Mike Tucker especially as well, captured the darkness, the energy as well. People like Steve Lyons to an extent, Kate Horman as well, Lance Parkin, Russell T Davies as well, because he written Damaged Goods, he did for a novel. Bloody hell, he captures McCoy in a brilliant light. He does, Davis. I was surprised really, and I don't know about Moffat, but he did a short story with McCoy as well in 96, an anthology book, Decalogue book. I haven't seen that. I haven't read it. I haven't got it actually, so I can't really explain what it was like really. Continuity Errors, it's called. But Russell Davies and Stephen Moffat actually written for the Seventh Doctor they have, so, and put their own stamp on what a Doctor may be like. Shame they didn't carry on. If Virgin carried on producing novels with the Eighth Doctor, would Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat would actually have written a full? Would Russell written a second novel? Would Moffat written a first novel about that? I don't know. Who knows? It would have been interesting, carry on the gritty darkness of the Seventh Doctor era, carried on with the Eighth Doctor, with the fun-loving, passionate Doctor, then the manipulative, chess master Doctor, who's always pondering, thinking, and getting close to the end of his regeneration, like, I've got to regenerate soon, type thing. That sort of thing. You know, that would have been interesting, really. But never came to be. Christ. I mean, some stories do exemplify that, but I've done talk about the Eighth Doctor anyway. But the Virgin books really capture the Seventh Doctor. That's really my era for the Seventh Doctor. Really, my go-to for a Seventh Doctor story. Sometimes, you know, I've got a good portion of the novels. So I've got Time Lord now. I haven't got the time trilogy of that. So I've got the Catskill trilogy and everything from 95, bits of 96, one from 97, because some of them are bloody expensive. They are those books. But people do capture his Doctor nicely, especially like the new writers, like the new fans who totally get Doctor Who. Some of them are based like television writers who work for the McCoy era. They get him right in different ways, actually. And some of them who probably did the target novelizations back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, who never did a Sylvester McCoy novelization, nor a just say McCoy really, because Terence Dicks never did novelizations for McCoy, nor did John Peel, nor did Nigel Robinson really. You know, so they sort of stumbled in the dark they did for a bit to try and manage what type of Doctor he is. How are we going to put him in print form? You know, how do we? What's our? You know, we got a brilliant story. How are we going to insert him in it? You know, and they do different ways really. Of course, you know, it's just like that really. Big Finish. God, the problem is with Big Finish with him. There are some good stories. Rapture, I love. That's a good Seventh Doctor and A story. Saying Ibiza in the late 90s. That's a good story. That is, you know. The Seventh Doctor ended up in the bloody nightclub scene, apparently. That's actually, you know, pretty good stuff. Genocide Machine, yeah. I mean, it's written by Matt Tucker, but I don't know. Something about the Big Finish was a bit, yeah, I've got to go and be in, you know, I've got to go to be in 10 minutes. I've got to go to be in 10 minutes. Okay, sorry. I might just wrap this up, actually. I'll say Sylvester McCoy is my favourite Doctor, and that's about it, really. So, there we go. So, he's number one. So, there we go. I need to end the stream anyway. It's getting close to midnight. Jesus Christ, I've been babbling on too long. So, thank you very much, David Film Block Night. Thanks for joining anyway. And I'll see you for next week. Anyway. So, I'll see you whenever. I've got to go for a job interview tomorrow anyway, at some point. So, I need to get ready. Yeah, get to bed. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's getting late here, so. But have a good night, sir. And I'll see you next week anyway. So, there we go. I know it's been going on too long. We've been talking about Doctor Who for the most time for a good 3 hours anyway. Cheers, mate. Have a good night, and I'll see you next week. All right. See you later.